North football as well, and I reckon that's where the edge will come for Baronia today. I reckon that will stand them in good stead, and obviously a player like Dean Grice coming back in the side makes a massive difference to the Hawks.
Very, very excited for the first time this afternoon because our boundary rider in position A, and it's a very nice looking East Burwood Reserve out here this afternoon. And joining us for the first time is Andy Paolacci and Paul Samasides. Good evening, guys.
Good afternoon, BWS. Thanks a lot, guys. Down right on position A, as you said, and the ground looks perfect condition. As for the weather, you're looking at a bit of a 2-goal breeze, perhaps, maybe even 3, pushing towards the far side of the ground. But for me, I'll be following Glen and Waverley. If the midfielders can win the ball and get it to their forwards, I think they'll be a bit too strong today. Over to you, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Yeah, as you mentioned, there is a bit of a strong breeze down here, and just watch for number 22 for Baronia with the big blonde locks. Jess Moore across the half-back line. He's been in fantastic form over the last month, and he's set for a big one today.
Thank you, boys. Down boundary side, they're up for a big afternoon. Perfect conditions as the sides make their way towards position. Let's go through the tips. Brett Davidson, who are you going for?
Look, I'm staying with Baronia. I was just about to say that I didn't realise Brad was doing the game, and I'll tell you what, we are privileged today. We've got the 2 best callers. We've got the best caller in the AFL in Brad Henderson, and the best caller in the VFL in the good man next to me, Mr. Hooper. So this is going to be a fantastic...
Have I told you that I Parker probably the best side of the AFL this year?
Yeah. There's going to be very little football discussed today.
I've played a couple of gigs at Churnside Park, and that has been the most welcoming club I've ever been to. Got everything going on there too. Ladies' side as well. The club embraces everything there.
Yeah, no, it's very, very good. I suppose, I'm going to tip Baronia.
Hoops, who are you going for?
I'm going for the Glen Waverley Hawks today. I just think their firepower up forward will win it for them, and I've loved seeing their progression and their improvement over the last couple of seasons.
Dyson Baker.
Yeah, look, I'm going to watch them a few times this year. A couple of times I've seen Baronia. So the Hawks.
I'm going to go for you can't go past winning form in a row. That's what you want to have. Brad Henderson, the accurate he's going to take us away. Choose away.
Yes, on Jason Heath, what a matchup in the Baronia. Let's get him away. East Burwood Reserve in this condition, and then Danny Keno hopefully Hawks competes. Get on to Keno, as they call him at the Hawks. Great pass and nice. Didn't take long for Darren to watch the game. Easily in their grand final losing grand final.
And also has a party up for and Keys for share as well.
He's electrifying when he gets put a hard tag on him. Games, let's just say that. I'm really down to Heath. I think that'll be a Baronia could get on top. Some tight advantage there to hold.
Cups of the wing, Dewar's kick left never was on that occasion, but it did Baronia. Bailey Hall's one behind on the Bendigo. His Hall stood up towards Holland, was in the box, forced himself on a short. Grice was and Grice in the end forced to go one contest on the deck to pull it up. So just inside the Fiac, kick, thumps it out. The mark is safe. So we can't call the Hawks today.
It's a lot confusing.
Glen Waverley who was more, who got the fish to it. Diving over the very high, strong back. Looking forward to seeing how the influence has been across boundary side in just a moment. Ball going umpire calls for side thanks to Akira.
Just on the bench for Glen Waverley, we've got bring the number 13 jumper and the Vinder Singh.
Off to the middle of the ground, and now Baronia are line position. A was for you to he got a hell that to Dewar. The umpire might reward him instead. Forward for Baronia. On the scoreboard, the Glen Waverley Hawks lead up his Ben Holland. He started lively. He tried to feed the ball out. Glen Waverley ball out there. Hancock's in there. He doubled back and then kicked it up towards the half. Chopping off and taking a good mark. Actually, his downfield free kick.
And I was just noticing Allison's playing. The other key match as a party. And I think there's some very interesting match for Glen Waverley Hawks.
Well, Tim Cook, Matty Carnelli took the mark. Hangs it on his boot, but he pushed it to the left on the full. Paul Semasides.
Mate, I'm starting on the bench for Baronia, Bridge, Lachlan McKernan, and he's starting on the bench for Baronia.
In from the last, the players short, and the handball wasn't too crash. Allison got it across. They had trouble he'd expect about fighting through, though. The horse pushes it to the right. Scores a result. They've been the horse. They move on. Time running yet to score.
They should have gone long and down and fluffed it up.
Characteristic guys there. He missed the target by. Yeah, look, they might all be. Which can often happen.
Being minded by Fair 2 and Walker and Pat Garrett. Morsley going across. He's been scintillating for.
He came away from Zick. He's off target and a minus box. Sam Zickman.
He kicked that from.
So it's with prize inclusion for the Hawks. Picks a half. Ball in the box seat. Hands it off to left foot kick inside of Baronia defenders. And they're just off target again. On the board for the Glen Waverley Hawks. Your boy.
And if you told me that on
Allison made it to himself from the half back line, pushed towards the run 55 metres out. Goals, they currently lead at 4. So there, Burwood Highway, come at Garrity. That was okay. Bit of trouble to get the 1-2 inside forward 50. That was from the pocket. On the board for the Glen Waverley. Have inside most part of the first 10 minutes. 10 Baronia yet to score.
From there, but he took the position, kicked it great.
And they're sure in the contest. Ball up, set handball.
10-point lead there. Meadow Bank score. Middle gave it to Zickman. He was well and truly for Baronia as side boundary. For Baronia on the play, it's going.
That's when they've had the ball
For the core.
Needless free kick. Baronia were off and running. And there's a high kick. As a party. Handball came out to clear. More and for Glen and Waverley. Possession was Moller. Only will clear once more. The target. And the ball on the other side, true wing position.
Forward pressure's been fantastic. Really making balls.
Danny right that time for the Hawk. Very high. Just backed out of the contest. Time to steady though. Who got it up towards Holland. Just a little. Very careful pass, which really is going to come off. And they've got numbers to the contest. And the ball up.
Good pressure. He should have probably and the pressure.
The kick comes clear. Strong tackle applied by Lee. Players crashing over the top. Under pressure. And he wrapped up.
Saying to choose tap.
Yeah. The Waverley Hawks 10-4. 12-9. Thanks to choose tap.
Moving over the top once more. Ball twice for Baronia so far, and both has left.
It's interesting that they're playing on this because that's implications. And again, as you say, we have an option go along to Heath.
The forward line for Glen Waverley sing. The quick kick was on by and forward 50. Another shot on goal. And 4-0. And a shot for them. The 13 jumper this but across the 50 scoring shots to nothing, and it's pushed it way out wide to the right on full round.
The concern for the Glen Waverley to convert with this breeze.
7 shots on goal there. In reality, 3 or 4 goals up. Baronia are not playing good football. Something that they've got to take positive out of it.
To choose that for the Glen Waverley.
12 minutes gone. The halfback on as a party. He was tackled Jess Moores. 50 metres out from goal. Going on. Umpire just telling it. The game moving. Is up now. Singh. Straight into the arms of McNamara. Into the arms of Garrity. Broke one. To the top hands and the well, actually, it's a free. How long was for?
Held on. He's a quality ball. Garrity.
Short passes. I said it didn't go far enough. Got towards a wing position. It's a 2 stands true. Giving today they work the ruck well. Kick was short. Fast kicked into his throat. Hit up there by Zickman. 50. But going down. A good mark at the last line. Passes on. Seem to get past that wing position.
This is better. It's better to hold here and create something than like been doing, and probably this just kicking kicks moment and then
officer straight down in Allen. Play with it across the half back over the back of his charging in 2-2. Dean Grice. I didn't say it was play on. The play is still blow their whistle. We'll come back to the half.
Tackle.
Yeah, probably arms stood up a little bit high. Certainly, tell you what. Me too.
Knocked away from him, came down to more away, quick kick to the top of the goal square by Baronia. It's going to be a 3-on-1 situation. The one might actually win out on this ball. Got the handball away. He's going to be pinged for throwing. The umpire said play on. Gray got it away, got it to Dewar, and now the Hawks are going to charge through the middle of the ground. Garrity's going to stand true. He only put one hand up, 2 hands for beginners. Knocked it down. Carnelli was in there also too, was Walker. Banged it around on the left boot. Inside forward 50. They're going to charge through. Look at the running by Matty Carnelli. He's going to stroll into an easy goal, and that's the second on the board to the Glen Waverley Hawks. Great end-to-end football shown there. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, as we cross the 16-minute mark, Glen Waverley lead at 2 goals 4-16. Baronia is still yet to score.
Yeah, look, I think 2 things there. One, letting Dewar stand by himself 30 metres off the contest, you cannot afford to do, and you saw with his kick forward. And the second thing was, that was very uncharacteristic of Garrity, just putting the one hand up, and, you know, beautiful work from Carnelli. He read it perfectly, ran out on the offside, and got and these too good to let loose.
Well, he was the first contest inside 50, Matt Carnelli. When he didn't get possession, he ran forward and was able to take that. I'd like to see Baronia lower their eyes a bit and just try with a bit more run and carry rather than trying to go long.
16-point lead to the Hawks as McGee's kick is chopped off. Baronia come out of defence. Holland on a long lead. Can't control the ball, can't keep it in play.
And they do have the breeze.
They do. I still think he's the key. I think he's the biggest mismatch at the moment. Holland, I think if they can bring him back, sit him more at centre half forward and put the ball
too far out.
Yeah, they should be able to use him because I think he is a big mismatch.
Well, he did win the tap this time to Foligno. Chain of handballs now, high up and under kick. Heath was the target, but it fell just short of him. Lang dives in over the footy. Plenty of Glen Waverley players arrived to help out. Quick kick came from Hancock, and the mark was well held there by Dewar, diving and taking the mark on his chest.
Dyson Baker, thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, that last goal was the first caused by straight from a turnover from Baronia. Glen Waverley Hawks, 2 goals straight.
Dewar's kick ends up in the hands of big disco Danny Keno. And he's right in the middle of the ground. He's going to launch it long for Glen Waverley. Didn't really favour them though. It was to a 2-on-1 contest as a party that time, outpointed by Allison. And a boundary throw-in. It's deep in the forward line though here for Glen Waverley.
2 goals not enough for this wind.
Quick little handball was shot out by Moore. Foligno almost got to the footy first. Leeson, little handball was clever to Grice. His short pass was also pretty well weighted. Up towards the wing position now for Baronia. Very short pass to Bainbridge. Had to be perfect. So, Shannon Bainbridge for Baronia at half-back. Wants to switch to this broadcast side, social club side of the ground. Finds Luke Allison at half-back, who takes the mark safely. But it's very static at the moment for Baronia.
Too slow.
Exactly.
And Kennell's just gone and sat back down in the hole.
Kick was intended there for Smith, but did him no favours. Just landed at his bootstraps. Grice dives over the footy, and this another ball up to result.
It's crossed down boundary side, thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Andy Paolachi.
Yeah, guys, Danny Gray's just come on for the Glen Waverley side, joining Andrew as a party up forward. They kicked 16 goals between them last time. Don't think they'll get that many today, but a bit of dynamic job there for the Glen Waverley side.
Free kick then goes the way of Keno, hands it off to McGee. McGee's long searching kick deep into the forward line. Trying to find Danny Gray that time, who now gets his hands on the footy really for the first time this afternoon. Garrity did well, shoveled out a handball into the path of Allison. Socket along by Luke Allison to Bolton and over the boundary line.
16th inside 50 for the Glen Waverley Hawks, thanks to Tuesday. Baronia 6.
16-point lead. Back into play. Leeson. High kick around the corner into the path of Grice. And he just couldn't quite gather it in cleanly then. But already Dean Grice having a big impact on this game, finding plenty of the footy. As you'd expect. Two-time, I think, Chandler medalist. Two-time league best and fairest, maybe three-time.
Four, I think, isn't it?
I think it's three times. As Bainbridge has the free kick for Baronia.
He's had an impact since he's come on suddenly in the midfield, because I thought that's where they were getting hurt a little bit. It was in the midfield.
Wants to dish off a handball. Does just that. Hands it to Allison. It was Luke Allison that time. Kicks it forward. McGee slipped through his fingers. Henderson, quick little handball. Very high up and under kick. Heath and Maudsley contest. And good disciplined punch. The double fist there from Maudsley coming over the top, forcing a boundary throw in as the Hawks still lead by 16 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Baronia wanted somebody front and centre there, so when the ball came to the foot of the 4 or 5 players going for that mark, there was someone coming through.
Went over the back of the pack from the throw-in, and now Baronia drive the ball in towards the Heath direction, but at the back of the pack, 2-2 takes a good mark, and he wants to go on with it, but he's fumbled it in the last second. Now Baronia have the numbers. Can Heath come in and lend some support? He has to break the 2-2 tackle. That was a great recovery by the big man. Got the handball over the top. Lang tried to get it out of the danger zone there across the half-forward line. McNamara tried to handball it over towards Bazinkas for Baronia. Just inside forward 50, paddled it to himself and won the free kick. Holding the man is the result, so a bit of clever play there by Matty Bazinkas. And he'll have a shot, Baronia's first true shot from about 50 metres out. However, distance may trouble him. He's going to go short. The lead is on into the forward pocket. Front spot, 2-2. Good mark there. It was intended for Kane Murphy. Last line of defence, Glen Waverley, they're going to get out of it.
That's just a poor option to lead into there.
No.
2-2's kick wasn't too crash hot either. Went straight through the arms of McKernan. He dropped what he probably should have taken. His second effort was good enough to hold the ball across that half-forward line. We'll have a ball up right in front of us here on the broadcast side. Glen Waverley Hawks lead at 2 goals, 4-16. Baronia yet to score. Holland went up in the ruck. He got it straight down. That was a good bit of play too. Felino couldn't quite get the handball out. Bazinkas has crossed the 50. Gets it to Bainbridge. He just popped it up into the hot spot. Kennell was standing there as a good ruckman should. Heath over the back of the pack. Scooped on by Dean Grice. Welcome back, Dean Grice. And he slots it straight through. And what an important goal for the Baronia Football Club, because we've just hit time on here in the first term of the Choose Tap final series. And it's Baronia trailing still. There are 1 straight 6. It's a 10-point ball game. Glen Waverley Hawks 2-4-16.
Fantastic forward line pressure there by Baronia. The other thing is 1 goal is in this quarter against this wind is probably worth 3 down the other end.
Not only that, but the way Grice then worked that contest, he was just wonderful the way he lost his player in traffic, got out to the right, to the offside of the contest, and he's too good a player to allow to run outside a contest.
Let's cross down to Paul Mercedes on boundary line, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, thanks. Dean Grice off for his first rest of the day after that goal. Looks to be moving really, really well.
Certainly is. He's made a great start to this game, and he's kicked Baronia's first goal. 10-point lead as Dewar gets it out of the middle for Glen Waverley. Ball didn't travel too far though. Shoveled out to McGee. Quickly tumbles it forward. Gray the target. Carnelli round a corner. Has he snuck it home? Yes, he has. Wonderful goal from Matty Carnelli. He's got his second, and the Glen Waverley Hawks get the quick reply.
Yeah, that was a quick reply, and they're just I suppose the players haven't been used to the ball bouncing as much as what it is at the moment. You can tell that they're just a little bit out of sorts with it. And they just got caught with the big bounce, and Carnelli read it well. And I think he also put him off by going to his left side. He did that very, very well then.
Ball back in the middle of East Burwood Reserve. It was a good answer there by the Glen Waverley Hawks. 3-4-22, plays a 1 straight 6. Plenty of scores with Ben Waterworth at quarter time as Baronia get the centre clearance. Dice as the kick goes inside forward 50. It's Heath versus Tutu. He started well, Tutu, and he's playing in front. Heath worked himself out of it. Handball over the top, went towards the Bazinkas direction. That was chopped off there by Maudsley. Put Tutu under a lot of pressure. Fumbled it, but got the handball away. They might get out of this. That was okay by Brad Riddle. Lucks of fortune though for Baronia. They got play streaming across the half forward line. Good tackle. Good tackle. Mackenzie got rid of it, but it's just inside the forward 50. Holland will go up against Kenor in the ruck. Holland's got the front spot, knocked it straight down. Glen Waverley have the players on the outer side to run away with this. Josh Gray on the left boot. It wasn't too crash hot. It creates a foot race across centre wing, but that's all right because Glen Waverley are going to win out of it. Kick up towards the Carnelli direction. He was muscled out of the play. 2-on-1 situation. Might see Baronia get out of this one. Going in hardware was Wayne McGee. Could have nearly earned a free kick. Carnelli dropped what he probably could have handballed away. The umpires said ball it up as Josh Allison hands it back to him. Hot footy in the middle of the ground.
I think umpiring's been pretty good actually. They're letting things go a little bit. They're not being too technical, and because there's been a few free kicks that you could see could have been given, but it's been good.
Mackenzie, he wanted to move it along. That was okay. Kicked up towards the Holland direction, right near that Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Out of bounds it goes. 16 points the margin here. 25 minutes gone now.
Thanks to Tuesday. 9 free kicks to 6 in favour of Baronia at the moment.
Holland versus Gray. Holland got the knockout. Ball across the half forward line now for Baronia. Paddle off the ground by Kane Murphy. Gains a valuable 2 metres if you want to call it valuable, and over the boundary line it goes. Half forward line Baronia. It'd be very handy for them to sneak another goal in time on here. Umpire throws it in now. Ball bounces inside forward 50. Irvine's in there, so too's laying the up. Ball's not going anywhere. Another stoppage. What are the stoppages at thanks to Choose Tap?
31 for the quarter. 16-9 in favour of Baronia.
Working beautifully, Dyson. Came out towards the Murphy direction from the throw-in. Umpire's just letting the ball play, as Brett Davidson said. Good umpiring from Waverley. Through Dewey, he might earn himself a free kick.
I just mentioned that Holland is the dominant ruckman. But he's the players at ground level. I don't know where he's going to tap.
No, and he's tapping the ball so well.
Well, the kick that time by Glen Waverley went out towards the wing position, but doing well there was McKernan. He's going to drive the ball back in for Baronia. Got the handball across to Holland. He wanted the 1-2. He should have just kicked the ball. So we'll have another boundary throw-in right near that Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, watch Holland here. He's great in the ruck. He's going to win 90% of the tap-outs, but the ground level players aren't aware of where he's going to tap it to.
Once again, he works his way to the front spot. Ball beats all players over the top. Smith handballed it away to Allison. Fumbled it a little bit, but that was okay. McGee got it back to Smith. Driving ball inside forward 50. They've got the numbers again here. Glen Waverley, you would think, picked up there by Bazinkas. Gets a little handball away. They're going to have a shot on goal, and it might be straight too. It might have gone through for a goal. Baronia, the Emerald plays waiting for it, and a super bit of play there. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, just as we said in a junk time, Jess Bolton comes in and kicks a ripper goal with only a couple of minutes left in the quarter.
They're worth goal against the wind there, Davo, because we're into time on, deep into time on. They're only 1 goal behind in majors, and these goals against the wind are worth probably 2 or 3.
And they would be really disappointed with that because they threw an extra player behind the contest in Glen Waverley to stop any sort of extra score by Baronia.
10-point lead now to the Glen Waverley Hawks. Baronia getting their 2nd goal of the quarter through Jess Bolden as Felino takes possession for the Hawks.
He's been good.
Yep. And so is this bloke.
Bainbridge takes the mark in the middle. Swings onto that trusty left foot. Looking for Holland, but it's out. Pointed this time. Maudsley floating in from the side to take the mark. Short pass to McGee. To Corey Walker. As the siren sounds to complete the first quarter, and it's a first quarter where the Glen Waverley Hawks kicked 3 goals for 22. Baronia kicked 2 straight goals And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's a 10-point lead to the Glen Waverley Hawks at quarter time.
Huge game out here at East Burwood Reserve today for the big clash between Glen Waverley Hawks and Baronia. Glen Waverley started with the breeze. They hold a 10-point lead at quarter time. We're going to cross back to the studio with Barry Cotts because Ben Waterworth will be around the grounds with everything that is Eastern Football League action as you go local for your footy right here on EFL Gameday.
Every day is a great day on Radio Eastern. And on Wednesdays at 2, you can enjoy the Wednesday matinee with Ray Lawrence. You'll hear a mix of timeless evergreens, special features, lots of memories from the golden days of radio, occasional surprise guests, and plenty of community information. Brighten up the middle of your week with the Wednesday matinee 2 till 4 on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Yes, indeed, it is Radio Eastern 98.1. It's 23 to 3, and Barry Cotts back here in the studio, and we'll return for the second quarter of our big game this afternoon in EFL between the Glen Waverley Hawks and Baronia very shortly. But right now, let's check out some AFL scores. Games being played this afternoon, and the one over there in Adelaide's between Port Adelaide and Brisbane, and it's currently the 23-minute mark of the first quarter, and the score is Port Adelaide 5-1-31, leading Brisbane 2-1-13. And for Port Adelaide, mostly single goal kickers such as Boak, Broadbent and Schultz. And for Brisbane, Buick and Green have one each. The other game today in Melbourne is at Etihad Stadium between St Kilda and GWS. And it's the 13-minute mark of the second quarter. And St Kilda have a fair lead. St Kilda 11-4-70. Leading GWS 2-14. And major goal kickers for the Saints. Milne has 3 and 2 each to Lucas. And also Malal has 2 as well. And did you have sudden fever, aching body, sore throat, chills, nausea, headache and dizziness? It sounds like you need medical assistance urgently. Now, it's difficult getting an immediate appointment with your GP when you need care fast. So come to Akira Urgent Care, where you don't need an appointment and you won't have to wait as well. So come to Akira Urgent Care. They're Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road in Baronia, or you can find them on 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care, your health, your destiny.
If you love your EFL footy like I do and you love getting down to see your team play, you don't want to be spending your weekend stuck in the car driving. That's why I opened a Breeze account. Eastlink is the quickest, easiest way to get around Melbourne's east, and Tag's the cheapest way to use Eastlink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au today and use Eastlink in the cheapest possible way with a Tag account. Instead of being stuck behind the wheel, I can have more time getting stuck into the umpire. Ball! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor. In desperate need of some windows but your budget's too tight? Never fear, because the team at T&B Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. We have surplus windows to suit the needs of any budget. We're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road East, Bayswater North. Give us a call, 8727 7506. That's 8727 7506. T&B Window Warehouse. Don't forget the name, part of the EAL and AW Transport Group. Number 1 in window transport. Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Quarter time here in the Division 3 Choose Tap qualifying final. It's the Glen Waverley Hawks 3-4-22 leading Baronia 2 straight 12. Good start by the Hawks, but Baronia just with a couple of handy goals right towards the end of that quarter. Now, of course, not as many scores to run through around the EFL. The BWS will like this one. South Croydon 6-7-43 leading Blackburn 1-2-8. Apparently out there at South Croydon, there's a big breeze towards the Eastfield Road end at the moment, which South Croydon did kick with in that first term. So interesting to see how Blackburn respond in that one. Looking forward to hearing Paul Hooper's opinion on that when he finds out the score. Now, in the other division, in the other semi-final score at the moment, the other final score, Rowville is 1-1-7. Montrose is 1 straight 6, so only 1 point separating there. A tight contest as we expected. And Victoria Halkears is out at the South Belgrave and Sylvan match. match at the moment. South Belgrave is 4-1-25 to Sylvan 1-6. So a bit of a tight start there as well. Let's get some stats with Dyson Baker, thanks to Choose Tap from that first term.
Yep. Look, Benny, a few interesting ones. Hoop spoke about it before quarter time that the hit-outs were really being dominated by Dutchy Holland, and that really showed. 18-9 in favour of Baronia and the boys, but the clearance is relatively even at about 9 or 10 apiece. Interesting to note that the inside 50s, once dominated by Glen Waverley early in that term, Baronia really fought back towards the second half, 17-13 in favour of Glen Waverley just. Tackle count is pretty much even, Baronia 20, the Glen Waverley Hawks 15. Other stat that I took, marks inside 50, Glen Waverley Hawks had 4, Baronia just the 1 in that quarter, and marks inside defensive 50, Baronia cleaning up really well and rebounding well off the half back line 4-2. We've got another score just coming in. Croydon one straight 6, Scoresby 7-6-48.
Thanks, Dyson, on the Choose Tap stats this afternoon. Let's cross down boundary side as we're about to get away in the second quarter. Andy Paolaci was at the Glen Waverley Hawks huddle at the quarter time.
Yeah, it was a bit of a secret men's meeting down there, but he basically just said, midfield, you're struggling, you need a lift, you need to protect the defence, especially against the breeze, and he wants Danny Gray to present when up forward.
We'll cross down to Paul shortly, but Brad Henderson to take us away second term.
Thanks very much. BWS, it is a 10-point lead that the Hawks take into the second quarter here at East Burwood Reserve in the third division qualifying final, as Glen Waverley Hawks are kicking to the Burwood Highway end of the ground in this second term. Mark safely held there for Baronia by Watson. First time I've really seen him in the action. And Watson's kick falls short, and as a party works his way back to take the mark. Has Dewar on a very long lead and finds him. Dewar, short pass. Attempted spoil then from Bolton, but he just couldn't quite get there in time. Up towards the wing position. Walker was the target. It was fisted away from him and over the boundary line.
Around the grounds, 33-point lead in favour of Noble Park. 5-5-30 Park, Vermont 2 behinds.
And as a party has gone loose in defence straight away for Glen Waverley Hawks. So he's sitting in the hole as we speak.
Paul Semasides was over at the Baronia huddle at quarter time. Let's cross down to him thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, mate, nothing but positivity from Drew O'Hare then. He's very happy with the way the Baronia Hawks fought out the second half of that quarter, and he actually did ask Jason Heath to give a little bit more in this second quarter.
Umpire tosses it up. I think Jason Heath's been starved of opportunities to this stage. Not sure there's too much more he could have done as McGee gets it forward to Cook. Tim Cook, too far out to score, goes short, looks for Danny Gray. Had front position, Allison sharked the pack, somehow fed it out to Moore. Grice put his body over the footy, it spills clear. And the Hawks do really well just to keep it inside their forward 50 then and force the ball up. That's a bit of a win for Glen Waverley.
And Allison is the player that is now loose in the back half for Baronia.
There's a quick kick by Bazinskis into open space. Hawks lead, Baronia I should say, lead the race to the ball. Grice. Lovely pass out into the path of a Bainbridge. Takes it now, but he's all bundled up by 2 Glen Waverley players. Umpire didn't feel it was a fair tackle. A little bit high, so the free kick goes to Bainbridge. Goes laterally now. Josh Allison through the middle, untidy kick. Sliding in was Leeson. Players crashing, shot out to Watson, very high kick. And Watson's kick just hangs out to the left, a minor score. And the first score, in fact, of this second term. It is a behind a Baronia, who are 2-1-13. Glen Waverley 3-4-22. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I can't believe they're not putting the hard tag on Grice. They're just letting him run. You just let him run around, he'll just get possessions all day. And he's too good with the footy to allow him to do that.
The kick in from Glen Waverley found Lang across the half-back line. He wants to move it on towards the wing position. Does so now. Driving kick. Had to have the front spot down there. And taking a ripper mark, it was Tim Cook. So getting amongst it in the start of the second term, Tim Cook. A couple of good marks. Kicks it up towards the Walker direction. He copped one in the back. The umpire said he'll be rewarded for courage. So Corey Walker.
1 free kick apiece, thanks to Tuesday this quarter.
Kicks it on that familiar left boot, inside forward 50, coming out in front. Gray, great mark there. So Danny Gray from about 40 metres out will shoot for Glen Waverley's 4th goal.
Well, interestingly enough, when Glen Waverley Hawks are defending, they're coming to the commentary side of the ground here. They say that the couple of guys I spoke to a quarter time, the wind is blowing across the ground, and when Baronia were defending, they were going to that dead pocket side.
So Danny Gray yet to kick a goal this afternoon. This would be a really important one. Floating through. Perfect use of the helicopter punt style as Glen Waverley kicked their 4th on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They moved to 4 goals, 4-28. Baronia are 2-1-13. We've gone 5 minutes in this second term.
I don't like that matchup. I don't like the matchup of Mollica on, if it is Mollica on Gray. I just, Gray's just too quick for him, and Mollica's a good footballer, but he needs to be on a taller backside. I'd make a move in that situation there. I'd maybe even push O'Reilly back, but don't like it.
Back in the middle, 15-point lead. It was Redquist who tried to get the footy out of the middle, and he was going nowhere.
It's crossed down to Andy Paolacci, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, Mick Gall, who individualised 2 players in that quarter-time huddle, Corey Walker and Danny Gray, combined excellently for that goal. So already his plays have lifted for the Glen Waverley side.
Yeah, I think both of them were pretty quiet in that first term. Gray was certainly trying hard, but just couldn't quite get his hands on the footy. And Corey Walker, very quiet in the first term, but a lovely pass to set up that goal. Very skillful by foot. Both the Walker brothers, as the ball's in contest at the moment. Bolton shot it out to Grice. Neat pass by Grice.
Still no one minding Grice.
That was beautiful too. That's just
I think it's supposed to be Ross Dancy, but he's not with him.
Beautifully weighted kick to Smith, who unloads, thumps it long, and made the distance, but accuracy was never in question. It was a minus score, and the Hawks move on to 4-5-29. Baronia 2-2-14 Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Sometimes you can get a bit of a false sense of security. You've got that breeze and you think it's going to do it for you, and so far I've seen a number of players just blazing away from 50 out. Work the ball into the forward line. That's the key.
A couple of scores from around the ground. South Croydon lead Blackburn by 35 points. Scoresby lead Croydon by 42 points. Norwood lead Lilydale by 13 points. Knox lead East Burwood by 9 points, and Noble Park by 33 over Vermont.
Well, the kick came in, but it's been chopped off across the 50-metre line by Watson for Baronia. So he fancies himself from here, 55 metres out.
See, again, he'll probably kick it now, but I think it's a stupid shot from there.
Watson comes in. It was a good connect, but he's pushed it to the right-hand side, so a minor score will be the result, moving Baronia on to 2 goals, 3-15. They're trailing by 13 points. Then Waverley Hawks 4-4-28. 7 minutes gone here. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Glen Waverley consistently bring it out to this side. They're going the other side at the moment, but why would they bring it out this side mostly, David?
I can't understand why you would do that on this ground, but obviously that's the area that I think they can attack from. I think they're definitely looking at attacking.
Chance here for the Hawks, high up and under kick.
Grice.
It was by Grice, and he has kicked a great goal for the Hawks. He's just cutting a sway through this game, and he just looks a class above, and improved it once again. It is his 2nd goal for the day, Dean Grice. And now Glen Waverley move on to Baronia, I should say, 3-3-21. Glen Waverley 4-4-28. The margin back to 7 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And as I said before the game, he looks a different footballer even now. Like it's a different Dean Grice that we're seeing playing out here now. He moves a lot better. He's thinking a lot more around the ground. He's so much more confident when he gets the football to be able to just do the really clever things, and most impressive.
Singh goes up against Mackenzie. Mackenzie got that knocked down, picked up by Dewar, snapped it around the body, kicked it up towards a half-forward line, going through the arms of O'Reilly, so it comes out towards the Walker direction. He's got 2 to beat if he can be up to it. Garrity's in there for Baronia, got the handball away, but it went into absolutely no man's land. And now the Glen Waverley Hawks might look to rebuild through Lang. His kick was smothered beautifully by Allison. He needs to get a handball away. He's hot to trot. Grice tried to palm the ball off. That was okay, but Mackenzie fell over it. the last stage. Picked up by Dewar, sharks it inside forward 50. Charging out was Luke Allison, got it on the second bike, got the handball over towards Foligno. Now they've got the run. Charging through was Jess Bolton, drives the ball inside forward 50. Nobody was home as the party dropped what he probably should have taken. Smith has it across the half back line, and now Glen Waverley are going to get away with it. The kick up towards the wing position goes nowhere. It's a little bit like kick to kick out here at East Burwood Reserve, and dropping off and taking a good mark is Dick McNamara. So he goes short, and once again it's chopped off in the middle of the ground. Lang kicks the ball up towards forward 50. Gray's got the front spot, and he holds the mark. Good jukes. Great bit of play there by Danny Gray. He had to stick his bum out, and he did it at the exact right time and took a good mark, 35 metres out directly in front.
Well, that was poor work by McNamara on the wing there. He had plenty of options. Guys calling for it, and he just rushed the kick and kicked it straight to the opposition.
It'll be interesting to see what his response to that is, because I've seen him twice now have a go at his fellow teammates for not kicking the ball.
Danny Gray puts it straight over the goal umpire's head in true drop punt style. That's his second on the board, moving the Glen Waverley Hawks onto 5 goals for 34. They're leading against Baronia 3-3-21. We've gone 10 minutes here in the second quarter.
Again, I'm not comfortable with that. That matchup, so if I was Drew, I'd start to be looking at that sort of that's a dangerous matchup, especially one out in that area. That's been a smart move to bring Carnelli up the ground, sit Gray down in the goal square. It really highlights that pressure of being one out. Backman hate it.
Dyson Baker around the grounds.
Yeah, looking in Division 2, the second semi-final at quarter time, Rowville 1-1-7, Montrose 1-6, and in Division 4, the Tuesday qualifying final, South Belgrave lead that one by 35 points. 6-1-37, Sylvan 2 behinds.
Glorious sunshine here at East Burwood Reserve as Glen Waverley Hawks lead by 13 points. Ball not travelling too far from that ruck contest. Finally, Grice again is the one who extracts it, tumbles the kick forward. McKernan over the ball, got it out to Bazinskis. Beautiful pass by Bazinskis for Watson. Just an important touch on the footy just as it was about to smack him on the chest. O'Reilly sweeping handball over the top. Great footy here. Bolton got it to Heath. Fires at the goals, but Jason Heath this time just off to the left, a minor score. And Baronia 3-4-22. Glen Waverley Hawks 5-4-34. Bendigo Bank scoreboard just on that Mollica matchup on Danny Gray as well, Davo. You've seen Mollica play some good footy in the midfield too. They're not using him in that regard, so they're losing out in that regard as well.
Exactly. I just saw them with Kane Murphy, a bit of the coup de feet. He's picked it up with one hand and the big 30-metre handball. It was good stuff.
They're moving the ball out of the defensive zone, Glen Waverley. Mark taken by Mark Foote. Wants to keep it moving. Kick was terrible off the boot, over the boundary line and out of bounds, right near the Baronia bench. They're currently trailing by 2 goals at the 12-minute mark. Qualifying final day, Division 3 at its best in a sun-drenched East Burwood Reserve. Umpire throws the ball in now. Might be a free kick given away here. The umpire said it was. Ryan Henderson getting right into the back of Singh, so he'll be the big man. Glen Waverley get them up towards the half-forward line. The kick goes in that direction now. Had to be good. Great mark, Tim Cook. He lost his footing at the last second, but was clever enough to bring the mark down. So he has it about 75 metres out from goal. He's going to kick it to the hot spot. Why wouldn't you go towards the grey direction? Baronia got plays absolutely everywhere. Charging through there was Walker. The umpire said he's going to receive a free kick, or he's given
too high.
So he's going on with it as well. I thought he might have actually lost the free kick there.
Ducked into it a little bit, but the umpire was on the blind side, so fair enough.
McNamara's not having a good 5 minutes of football here.
So it'll be Corey Walker. Hasn't troubled the scorers yet this afternoon.
It'll be tough into this, Bruce.
Yeah, big kick this one.
Normally an okay kick. Crosses the 50 now, just inside the 50. Drives the ball long right to the goal line. It's going to be touched over and through for one behind. Minor scores the result on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, moving Glen Waverley Hawks under 5-5-35. 13 points ahead of Baronia, 3-4-22. 13 minutes gone.
Allison brings the ball back in. Goes to the outer side. The scoreboard side of East Burwood Reserve. Short pass, attempted spoil then from Walker. Allen charges away, driving kick to half forward, and a nice mark taken then by Holland, who dishes off a little handball to Bazinskis, and Bazinskis is off target. So again, Baronia just taking some pretty wild shots at goal. We've seen a few of them in this quarter. And again, just a minor score result.
Just go back to what Brett Davison said before about just blazing away. You've got the wind. The wind won't do it for you.
And Holland's taken the mark 35 out, not on a difficult angle. Go back, slot the ball. Don't little cheeky handball across. I think that's just... Yeah, I don't like that sort of footy, and it puts pressure on Brzezinskis.
1-5 this quarter from 9 inside 50s thanks to Choose Tap Baronia.
As a party screaming for some support from the kick-in, eventually got it from Ryan Maudsley. Takes the mark. 30 metres out from the Baronia goals. Gets it out of the danger zone. It was a good kick too. It was intended for Lang. He just couldn't hold on to the second bite. Over the boundary line we go for another stoppage.
I like their little kick out that they do there. They kick it to the umpire. And because he's standing in the spot, no one stands around him, so they kick it to that area and he runs onto the ball. They've done that twice now. It's quite a clever little kick out.
Garrity took it from the Holland knockdown, tried to get the handball away. It was good. Allen got crunched in a tackle. That was good play by Dewar. He's going to hold the ball up and we're going to have a bounce 40 metres out from goal down Baronia's end.
Unlucky not to get a free kick because that was a great tackle.
Definitely puts his
Rolled him in it.
Puts his body on the line at all times. Holland worked his way to the front. Sharked it down. Glen Waverley kick out of the danger zone. It's going to go too far. Out of bounds on the full. Richard McNamara. Take 5 for Baronia, really.
Hope his kick's better this time than the last one he had.
He's got Smith short if he wants him. He wants the longer option. He's going to kick it to the hot spot now. That was a good bit of play too. They're going to have the numbers though. Picked up that time by Lang for Glen Waverley. Kicked it out. Bainbridge was around the pill, got it across to Watson, kicked it towards the top of the goal square, but as a party at the last line of defence, he's playing that defensive role well in this second quarter, chips the ball over towards Zickman. That was okay, 2-2's out wide, and now the Glen Waverley Hawks are away. Danny Gray's made a lot of good space up there in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Now he needs some support. Cook's down there. Also to his Corey Walker. The kick wasn't too crash hot for him. Right on his hammer, Luke Leeson holds the ball in. Malika's in there too. Umpire's going to come in and bounce it about 55 metres out from the Glen Waverley Hawks goals. They lead it by 2 goals. 5-5-35. Baronia 3 goals, 5-23. 15 minutes gone.
2-2's taking every chance he can to run off Heath at this stage.
Pye throws it up, but fisted straight over the boundary line and out of bounds. Some more of those around the ground scores, if you would, Dyson Baker.
Yeah, running through it. South Croydon 35 points over Blackburn. Scoresby 42 points over Croydon. Knox 9 points over East Burwood. Norwood 13 points over Lilydale. And Noble Park 33 points over Vermont.
Allison has it in the back pocket for Baronia, and his kick was an absolute terrible one too, because it's fallen straight into the arms of Jack Hancock. And he'll have a shot from about 45 out. He's not looking too confident, so he might just go to the hot spot or just fool everybody. What a terrific pass that was. Sam Zickman in the right spot at the right time. He'll have a shot for goal, 35 metres out, 45-degree angle.
He's been a bit of a goal kicker for him this year too, Zickman. He's a clever on-baller, and that was a clever bit of play because there was leads going everywhere else. But wasn't that such a poor kick from defence? A nothing kick.
I don't know who the kick was intended for because it was a short pass and there was only 3 Glen Waverley Hawks players surrounding it. As Zickman comes in, this is a big kick as we almost hit time on in this second term. Straight over the goal umpire's head for his first of the afternoon, and Glen Waverley Hawks move on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to 6 goals, 5-41. Opening up a little bit of a gap now. Baronia 3 goals, 5-23.
Well, amazingly, Glen Waverley Hawks have kicked 3 goals into the breeze. Baronia have kicked 1 goal with the breeze in this quarter. You would say that was a 3-goal breeze in both quarters. That hasn't been the way it's worked out.
And I think the other thing that's interesting is that just about every time it's gone into Glen Waverley's forward line, they've looked like scoring. That's correct. I think they're really under pressure at the moment, the Baronia back half.
Out of the middle, Glen Waverley charged away through Hancock. Driving kick. Carnelli was caught out of position, and Jess Moore was safely in position A there to take the mark. Doesn't waste any time, the former Ferntree Gully Eagle. His kick was intended there for Henderson, who dropped the mark. Baronia had plenty of players around the footy though. Allison to McKenzie. Holland it is, around the corner. Holland's kick bounces into open space. Smith runs onto it. And his kick just falls the wrong side of the goalpost. Rubbers through for a minor score. And let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Just watch for Glen Waverley around the stoppage at the moment, boys. Certainly getting on top with Scotty McKenzie off the ground. Ryan Henderson just not getting the job done at the moment for Baronia.
So as a party, smart footballer, safe hands and a beautiful kick. Drives the ball long out towards the defensive 50 zone, looking for Maudsley. He had to paddle it to his own advantage and eventually pick it up. He copped one high too. Watson coming in a little bit too crudely, so he'll win the free kick, Maudsley. He's got players out wide in grey. The Josh variety, if he wants him, he's going to go back inboard. Spots up Hancock. Getting into this game in the last few minutes, Hancock wants to switch it out wide, gives it out towards Keno. Made the big man work for it too, but he had the running support of Tutu, who, as always, bangs it on his boot, but this time it went out of bounds on the full, right near that Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which shows a 17-point lead at this stage at the 20-minute mark to the Glen Waverley Hawks. Baronia, they're kicking with the breeze in this second term, so they'll be wanting to square things up and kick a couple of late goals to remain in this match.
Update from Connor Ryan at the Montrose Rowville game. Montrose in all sorts. Rowville have kicked the first 4 goals of the second term, now lead by 26 points.
Ball's driven inside forward, 50. Holland takes the mark about 45 metres out, or in fact probably 50, and this time Brett Davidson is going to go back because he knows he needs to put this through.
And look, and he's been a great target. I mean, that's probably his third good, strong contested mark. You just put him in an area and kick the ball to him as often as you could.
So Holland starts a very big run up in the middle of the ground. He's got the slight breeze behind him, gets to the 50 now, gets underneath it. It's going pretty straight too. It's going to get right to the goal line. Good work by Danny Kennell to be there at the last line of defence to fist it through for one behind. Baronia moved to 3 goals, 7-25, 16 points arrears now. Glen Waverley Hawks 6-5-41. Qualifying final day. We're in the second quarter.
That's his first score of the game, Ben Holland, so that's not the sort of output they'd want. He's presenting well, but he's not hurting the Glen Waverley side on the scoreboard as Azzopardi brings the ball back in. Off and running now, Gray, short pass, lovely pass to Walker. Corey Walker will swing onto his left foot, nice pass as well. Just teaming together really well. This is Irvine. He just takes something off the kick. In the end, it was to a 2-on-1 contest. Allison tried to paddle it back to Mollica. Mollica, can he keep his feet? Yes, he does pretty well in the end. Worked his way through the situation, but his kick was poor, and it's marked there by Walker.
Beautiful kick.
Floating kick into open space. Gray runs onto it now. Cops a high one from Felino, and maybe played for it a bit.
Right into that.
But they really played that well. What happens is that Zickman and Gray are changing in the forward pocket. But when they change, the forward pocket goes up onto the ball, plays on the ball for a minute or so, and then just drifts down. That's what he did, and Mollica was left by himself, had no idea who to pick up.
So Danny Gray kicked 7 last week. Rainmaker. That kick has gone very high. The wind gets a big hold of it. And in the end, it's only travelled about 30 metres. It's fallen short by 25 metres from goal.
It travelled 60, went 30 up and 30 down.
So the umpire will throw it up. It is about 25 metres out from the Glen Waverley goals. Loose footy now. Strong tackle applied on Allen and McNamara, I should say. In fact, it was. Umpire to throw it up once again. Richie McNamara, former Anzac Day medalist, has been involved a lot in this quarter. Some good, some bad, as McGee crashes his way through and kicks a great goal for Glen Waverley Hawks. That's his second, and the Hawks now lead by 22 points. Heady buff on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, I think the difference there is that I think their midfield's starting to get on top a little bit and look dangerous around the contest. Felino's gone out of it this quarter. And while Grice has been good, he really isn't having a lot of assistance. And now that they've brought the big man McKenzie back in, hopefully they'll get a little bit more out of him in the middle as well.
And something else you mentioned, every time that Glen Waverley go forward, they do look like they will score.
Yep. It's crossed down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Paul Samasides.
Yeah, boys, Grice, Bazinskis and McKenzie all back on for Baronia just then in a triple change. So look for them to do something at the back end of the second quarter.
Well, they need to get a bit of a run on. Baronia have the free kick in the middle of the ground. Felino, no one stands the mark. He's going to run and drive the ball inside forward 50. Smith was the target. No one could quite get there. Azzopardi at the back. Gives a handball off. Smith's in there too. Grice laid a good little tackle to Allen. Handball out. Backwards kick went towards the Garrity direction. He has to get down low, the big man. He did so, handballed it to Grice. Flung the head back in that Joel Selwood style and earned the free kick.
Is the sun a problem to Baronia going forward?
In fact, it's going to go further along to Garrity. It must have happened before the cross play. Pat Garrity from about 55 metres out from goal. He fancies himself from here. So he'll come in. Yet to trouble the scorers today. Big kick for the Baronia Football Club coming up. It's looking straight. It might just not make the distance. Ben Holland dropped what he should have taken. Smith out of the pack. Just got tackled at the last moment. Forced the kick out of bounds on the full. So get out of trouble. Free card for the Glen Waverley Hawks there as they're going to look to rebound. They wanted to get on with it quickly through Dewar, but the umpire's going to call him back. Kick over the man of the mark. So the ball's in the back pocket for Baronia. Well, for the Glen Waverley Hawks, it's down Baronia's end. They're trailing by 22 points. So the Glen Waverley Hawks, their first final in Division 3. They've started off well. Dewar from the back pocket. Pack forms on that far side of the ground. At the back of the pack there was Tutu. In fact, coming down with the mark, Sam Zickman. Almost went up unattended there. The ball held up in that breeze, fell short. Zickman goes short. He had Tutu out wide, or McGee. Just kicked that terrific goal. Wayne McGee waiting for options up forward. Kick goes into the middle of the ground. It was intended for Riddle. It was fisted away from him. He might get a second go at it, though. Picked up by Allison. Got the handball away to Garrity, who's got it across the half-forward line, running in for Lino. He pot shots at it from the goals from 50 metres, and he's put it through. So very important goal there by Craig Foligno, and that's his first for the afternoon too. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Baronia moved to 4 goals, 7-31. Just in the nick of time, Brett Davidson. Glen Waverley Hawks 7-5-47.
Yeah, and that was probably one of the better pieces of play that we've seen today, with 3 slick handballs, some good handball under pressure, and a good finish from Foligno. And that's what you need to do. You don't need to be just blazing away. And even that last shot from Garrity, if you look sideways across, Mackenzie was standing by himself. It would have been better to switch across and then have that chance from there instead of just going back and blazing from 50.
Well, the margin back to 16 points. Baronia 4-7, Glen Waverley 7-5. The Bendigo Bank scoreboard coming up to 26 minutes.
And even though Foligno did kick from 50, it was a measured kick. He
took his time, didn't he?
Yeah.
Another goal to Baronia. I reckon it's just about all square, to be honest.
Umpire tosses up. Mackenzie in the ruck. Riddle, who's had a pretty quiet first half, was involved. And the ball's going to come back to Brad Riddle for Glen Waverley.
Ooh, that's 25.
It is a 25-metre penalty. It's against Matt Smith. And the umpire says didn't return it in the correct manner, but not so sure that the wind didn't just get a bit of a hold of it as well.
I think you've got to be smart with those decisions, surely. He was 35 metres away when he was giving that back.
Kick holds up in the breeze once again. Walker got a hand to it. Zickman. Kick was smothered off the boot. Josh Gray, high up and under kick. Again, it floats through the air with the wind playing a major factor. Bolden dropped the mark. Cook intercepts. Crashes his way through Zickman once again, the former Mulgrave Premiership player. He's had a big second term, and this time he's forced to hand the ball back to the umpire, but he's looming large at the moment in that side, that forward 50 for Glen Waverley, as the kick out of defence is nicely marked. Nice diving mark by Navinder Singh. Dishes off the handball to Josh Gray, cruising past. Gray's kick to Danny, his brother, on the chest, sliding in, claims the mark. Umpire says, "You're kidding, that wasn't a mark." And Leeson applies a strong tackle. And Danny Gray that time, I think I'm not sure if he was just trying to con the umpire or if he really believed he'd got to it. Usually you know in that situation.
Bounced 3 feet before him.
A lot of players around the footy. Nice kick into the path of Allen. Bryce weaves his way through some heavy traffic and just does it with ease. Grice's kick to Heath. Front position was owned by him, but Sullivan clears now for Glen Waverley. Gets it to Josh Gray. So big Josh Gray kicks to the wing position as the siren sounds. And that ends the first half here at East Burwood Reserve in the qualifying final of 3rd Division, where the Glen Waverley Hawks lead 7-5-47 Baronia 4 goals, 7:31. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at half-time, it is a lead for the Hawks by 16 points.
It's all happening out here on Choose Tap Finals Day. East Burwood Reserve, still plenty of time to get down here, and of course around at plenty of other games as you go local for your football this afternoon. We're going to cross back to Barry Cotts in the Eastern Studio, Radio Eastern Studios, and come back with Ben Waterworth, because there's plenty of around the ground scores happening out there that everybody wants to know what's happening about. So we'll be right back here on EFL Game Day.
Go Burners.
Hi, I'm Jeff Lasbury. Please tune in every Wednesday from 7 till 10 p.m. for Melodious Memories, where you'll hear the best of easy listening and nostalgic music, including Dance Band Day segment, where I play dance bands from the 1920s to the 40s, the Australasian spot, featuring Australian and New Zealand artists from all eras and genres, plus various other interesting segments. That's Wednesday, 7 till 10, on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM.
Radio Eastern 98.1. Yes, Barry Cotts back here in the studio. It's currently sitting on 14 degrees in Melbourne's outer east. A very pleasant day. Right, I'm here at our studio in Croydon. The sun is shining, which is good news. And time to check some AFL scores. And firstly, game between St Kilda and GWS this afternoon at Etihad Stadium. It's half-time, and St Kilda have a big lead. St Kilda 76-108, leading GWS 2-3-15. And Stevie Milne, there's a bit of a goal-kicking spree up to half-time. He has 5 for the Saints, and so 2 to Cripps and 2 to Valera. And goal scorers for GWS, not too many as you would expect. Adams and Trelaw are the single goal kickers. And the other game this afternoon is over there in Adelaide at AAMI Stadium, Port Adelaide versus Brisbane. And it's about the 20-minute mark of the second quarter. And it's a close game. It's Port Adelaide 8-2-50, trailing Brisbane 8-4-52. Major goal kickers for the Lions. Brown has 3, and 1 each to Beans and Buick. And for Port Adelaide, Broadbent has 2, Bock and also Ebert 1 each. So there you go. And the AFL scores, and also the big game coming up this afternoon up there in Sydney is between Sydney and Hawthorn. A big game indeed to decide, I guess, top of the ladder, and that's getting underway at 22:05 this afternoon. Now, what do you do when you have a medical emergency? Public emergency departments do a great job, but there's always a busy time and often have long waiting times that go on and on. Private hospitals charge you $280 and more for additional services, but at the Care Urgent Care, there's no waiting, and you'll only pay a maximum of $150 out of pocket, which includes other diagnostic services you need. So which option should you choose? The Care Urgent Care, Australia's first walk-in medical emergency clinic. Walk in at 157 Sportsvision Road, Baronia, or you can phone them on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. A Care Urgent Care, your health, your destiny.
In desperate need of some windows but your budget's too tight? Never fear, because the team at T&B Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. We have surplus windows to suit the needs of any budget. We're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road East, Bayswater North. Give us a call, 8727 7506. That's 8727 7506. T&B Window Warehouse. Don't forget the name, part of the EAL and AW Transport Group. Number 1 in window transport. Program sponsor.
20% makes a lot of difference. Imagine your team kicking 20% less goals and being 20% behind on the scoreboard. Actually, it's not. Now, imagine using a Breeze Tag account on Eastlink and getting a 20% discount on all weekend car trips. No need to imagine, it's for real. Open your account online at eastlink.com.au and get 20% off car trips all weekend, every weekend on Eastlink. Now, let's give my mate Ross 20% more stick for being 4 goals behind. Hey, Roscoe! Eastlink. It's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Half-time in the Division 3 Choose Tap qualifying final. And it's been a good start for the Hawks of the Glen Waverley variety. 7-5-47 are Glen Waverley to Baronia 4-7-31. So a 16-point lead to the Glen Waverley Hawks. They're looking pretty good as we head in. Now, let's have a look at some of the other games around the Eastern Football League. And Connor Ryan and Ray Baird are out there at Rowville-Montrose. And Rowville got off to a great start in the third term. They kicked the first 4 goals, but Montrose came back and kicked the next 3. So at half-time, Rowville are 5-3-33 to Montrose, 4 straight 24. So 9 points is the lead to Rowville at the moment in the Division 2 Choose Tap second semi-final. In other scores, South Croydon 6-11-47 hoops to Blackburn 2-6-18. So the Burners not quite able to make the most of that breeze in the second term. And out there at Hughes Park in Croydon, it's Croydon 3-4-22. They're trailing Scoresby 11-9-75. The interesting game is, of course, out at Noble Park in Vermont, because Noble Park led by 33 points at quarter time. I understand, though, that Vermont have come back a little bit. They were up by around, they were down by about 15 points. They had drawn back the lead. So I'll bring you that score as soon as it comes to hands. Actually, I just got one here through now. Noble Park, enough wind to build a big power city, apparently. The Bulls lead by Vermont by 13 points late in the second quarter. While we're waiting to have a chat with Clint Stanaway from Nine News, and we'll chat with Ray Baird from the Rowville-Montrose game. Dice, some stats that matter from... before we actually get some stats from Dice, hoops, some goal kickers from that first half.
Well, in the second quarter, we saw that Glen Waverley Hawks kicked 4 goals against the breeze. And with the breeze, we believe it a 3-goal breeze, Baronia can only manage 2, but the multiple goal kickers for the Glen Waverley Hawks, McGee has 2, Carnelli has 2, and Gray has 2. Gray kicked both of his in that second term, and single goal kicker is Sam Zickman for Baronia. Their only multiple goal kicker is Dean Grice with 2, and with singles for Lino and Jess Bolton.
Thank you very much to Paul Hooper, doing some fine work today in the special comments chair, as always. Just got another score through from Baldwin and East Ringwood. Baldwin a 5-6-36, only leading East Ringwood 4-2-26, a 10-point lead there to the Tigers. Dyson Baker, some stats that matter, thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, look, going through in that second term, we spoke about Baronia's wasted opportunities right throughout that second term. They went inside forward 50 20 times. They only scored 9 of those from 4 marks inside 50. We spoke about Ben Holland wasting a couple of opportunities, trying to be a little bit fancy. Glen Waverley Hawks inside 50 13 times, took 3 marks inside 50, kicked 4 goals, 1. So a lot more beneficial to be hitting it between the big sticks for the Glen Waverley Hawks. Marks inside defensive 50, 1 apiece. Baronia now have 5 marks inside defensive 50, so been able to rebound well. Still, centre clearance is dominated by Glen Waverley, 10 for the game to 2 for Baronia. But once again, the hit-out's dominated by Baronia, 30 for the game to Glen Waverley's 17, but the clearance is pretty much even, and Glen Waverley leading 19-15. Nothing really standing out to sort of signal a difference. Free kicks all tied up at 14 apiece, and you know, it'll be interesting just to see, but that's those wasted opportunities inside forward 50 might cost Baronia later in this game.
Yes, it's looking like a tight game at the moment. Just in another squad, it just got through. Knox a 6-5-41 to East Burwood 5-5-35. As we do each week, it's time to head across to the Nine News studio, because Clint Stanaway did the Today Show up in Sydney, and he's been able to sort of drag himself back into the Dockland studios out there at Channel 9. A very good afternoon to you, Clint.
A very good afternoon to you, Benny.
Good to hear your voice, and good to hear in fine form. Some AFL games going on. Been following Twitter at Port Adelaide and Brisbane. Looks like there's a bit of rain coming down, but it sounds like it's actually a pretty good contest.
It is a good contest. But really, you have a look at what's happening over at Etihad Stadium. The Saints are absolutely flogging GWS. Yes. They're up by 93 points at half-time. Wow. That, here's my Bruce McAvaney moment, is the 8th biggest lead at that stage of a game ever. Now, Stevie Milne, 5 goals to half-time. It's already embarrassing, but you expect it'll get even worse for the young Giants. The end of the year can't come any quicker for them. But the big one later on this afternoon, Buddy is back for the big clash between the Swans and the Hawks, first versus second. That doesn't get any bigger. Corey Norris, he'll have all those highlights in 9 News at 6. Also making news tonight actually at 6. There's plenty happening. There's been carnage on the nation's roads. Here in Victoria, a motorcyclist has been killed in Keilor Downs, while 4 young people have died in a horror crash at Cootamundra, just across the New South Wales border. A fiery night in Melbourne, a Glen Iris woman's lucky escape. We'll have that. An electrical fault was to blame for the blaze in Kingsbury. Dramatic video has emerged, meanwhile, as police end a shooting spree outside The Empire State Building, this is quite unbelievable because 2 people were killed, 9 injured after police tried to end that standoff. We've also got a really nice story. The son of bomber champion Merv Nagel, he was killed in a truck accident during the week, you remember. He's been honoured. The son has actually taken his coaching reins at Walla Walla. So it's a really nice one. Merv obviously coached the Hoppers, but his family insisted the match go ahead. So the 17-year-old has taken the reins, and we'll have that story at 6. Also, how about this? Shane Warne. He was out there on Etihad Stadium earlier today, not to roll the arm over, boys, but to play in a Legends match at half-time. He took a few hangers, and Liz was there, in her finest, blowing kisses from the stands. We'll have that, and Brendan Favola, he's in search of his 100th goal for Yarrawonga. Now he's on 99, if Twitter is to be believed.
Yes.
Lots happening in sport. The latest on Lance Armstrong. He's officially been stripped of his 7 tour titles, but one of his sponsors is sticking by him. Also, the latest from the Bledisloe Cup, Ayrton Woolley has that, and a lot more. Chock-a-block Saturday scoreboard. So lots happening around the state and around the country.
Before we let you go, Clint, just want to get your expert opinion. You said Warnie and Liz were out there today. Who was in better form in your honest opinion?
Liz was wearing the whites, actually.
Yes.
She was dressed all in white. She looked the goods.
Excellent. All right, as expected, Liz Hurley in better
best
form.
On ground. Best on ground at Etihad Stadium.
She would be picking up a number of 3 votes over time. She does a fantastic job, Liz Hurley.
Much prettier than the Giants, put it that way.
Much prettier. 93-point lead to the Saints there. Good on you, Clint. We look forward to seeing your face at the 6 o'clock news tonight on Channel 9.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Beautiful stuff. Clint Stanaway from Nine News joining us here on EFL Game Day. Full lot of scores around the Eastern Football League at the moment. Just before we get to Ray Baird, we'll have a look at all the other scores around the EFL. In Division 1, of course, the final round of Division 1, home and away round, I should say. South Croydon 6-11-47, leading Blackburn 2-6-18. Baldwin 5-6-36, just leading East Ringwood 4-26. Scoresby putting the pedal to the metal. The Pies are 11-9-75 to Croydon 3-4-22. Knox and East Burwood playing a bit of a tight tussle out there at Knox Gardens. The Falcons 6-5-41 to the Rams 5-5-35. Norwood with a comfy lead over Lilydale at the moment, 9-4-58 to Lilydale 5-2-32. And what the Eagles have done is they have kept Noble Park goalless in the second term and put on 3 goals, 3 themselves, but they still trail. The Bulls are 5-6-36 to Vermont 3-5-23. The Glen over the Hawks and Baronia, Glen over the Hawks and Baronia 7-5-47 are Glen Waverley, and Baronia are 4-7-31. And in the Division 4 Choose Tap qualifying final, South Belgrave had 6 goals won to their names at quarter time and led by 35 points, but did not kick a goal in the second term. But Sylvan were only able to put through 1 goal to themselves. So at quarter time, it's South Belgrave 6-3-39, leading Sylvan 1-4-10. It's now time to head out to Jubilee Park, though, because on the line is one of the father figures out there at the Rowville Football Club. He's watching his beloved Hawks go about their business, and it's Rowville 5-3-33 to Montrose 4 straight 24. Good afternoon to you, Ray Baird.
Good afternoon, Ben.
Now, how's it looking out there at the moment? It sounded like a pretty tight first quarter. Rowville really came out of the blocks in that second term, but Montrose, I'd say, would have pegged them back a little bit towards the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, look, you were certainly right there. Look, at quarter time there was only a 1-point difference, but look, at the start of the second quarter, Rowville, they just dominated. Shellmakers was getting on top in the ruck, and the Rowville were getting the clearances, and look, they kicked out to probably at one stage there a 27-point lead, but to Montrose's credit, they've got themselves back into this game again, and look, we've got a real cliffhanger on here, and at this stage I wouldn't like to predict who's going to be a winner.
Now, just looking at some of the action on Twitter here, and Connor Ryan's out of the game, and he said that Montrose took a while to adjust, kicking into the wind, but looked good after shipping off those early goals. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yes, I certainly agree with that. Look, it's a funny sort of game. You would think here at Jubilee Oval, there would be a very open game, but no, not. When the ball's in each side's defence, there's nobody in their forward 50, so there's a lot of players congesting it around where the ball is itself. But look, Rowville, they're on top at the moment because of their pressure on the ball carrier. Their tackling has been fantastic, and they've put Montrose under a lot of pressure. But as I said just before, Montrose, they've got themselves back in the last 10 minutes of that quarter, and then look, it's anybody's game.
Just a quick one, Ray. Are your beloved Hawks going to get up here?
Yeah, I think, look, I'm hoping they will, but as I said, mate, look, anything can happen in the second half.
Absolutely. Good on you, Ray. We look forward to hearing your around the ground sport a little bit after 5:30 tonight. We'll talk to you then.
Thanks, Ben.
Ray Baird out there, the Rowville and Montrose game. We'll take a quick break here on EFL Gameday and come back with second half action right here at East Burwood Reserve. It's Glen Waverley 7-5-47, leading Baronia 4-7-31. Second half action coming up right after the break here on EFL Gameday.
Hi, I'm Pam Pepperell, and I will be with you Fridays from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m, playing contemporary classic hits from the 50s through to the 80s. Also great music from Broadway and film. So, tune in every Friday at 11 a.m. for pleasant entertainment right here on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM.
Oh, you ought to see me now. If you could only see me now. If you would only see me now.
Radio Eastern 98.1. It's 26 after 3. Barry comes back here in the studio. Some more AFL scores, and it's half time over there at Amy Stadium in Adelaide, between Port Adelaide and Brisbane, and it's the Brisbane Lions leading at half-time, 10-6-66, leading Port Adelaide 8-3-51. Major goal kickers for Brisbane, Jonathan Brown has 3, also Green has 2 and Beams 1, and for Port Adelaide, Broadbent 2, Bock 1, and also Ebert 1. So 10-6-66 to Brisbane to Port Adelaide 8-3-51. Also, the other game is St Kilda and GWS, a bit of a one-way game as far as St Kilda is concerned. It's the 13-minute mark of the second quarter, and it's St Kilda 11-4-70, leading GWS Giants 2-14. Now, what do you do when you have a medical emergency? Public emergency departments do a great job, but are always busy and often have long waiting times. Private hospitals charge you $280 or more for additional services, but at Akira Urgent Care, there is no waiting and will only pay a maximum of $150 out of pocket, which includes other diagnostic services you may need. So which option should you choose? Akira Urgent Care, Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Baronia, or phone them on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care, your health, your destiny.
20% makes a lot of difference. Imagine your team kicking 20% less goals and being 20% behind on the scoreboard. Actually, it's not. Now, imagine using a Breeze tag account on Eastlink and getting a 20% discount on all weekend car trips. No need to imagine, it's for real. Open your account online at eastlink.com.au and get 20% off car trips all weekend, every weekend on Eastlink. Now, let's give my mate Ross 20% more stick for being 4 goals behind. Hey, Roscoe! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy. Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
The Choose Tap final series is underway in the Eastern Football League, and it's qualifying final day out at East Burwood Reserve Division 3. The Glen Waverley Hawks taking on Baronia, and it's a 16-point lead at half-time to the Glen Waverley Hawks. They'll kick with a slight 2-goal breeze probably in this third term. Brett Davison, how did Baronia get back in this game, or did Glen Waverley just run away with it?
Sorry, I was saying that I thought their structure went to pieces in that last 10 minutes of the second quarter, and I think they needed to just change up a few things, and I thought Heath was getting beaten by 2-2, so I would have put him at centre-half forward and Holland back to full forward. Maybe put Smith on the ball to give him a bit of a run, but just from the look of it right now, I don't think they've made any moves at all. I think they've come out and they've played exactly the same. And look, they're probably backing their players who have got them to third position to take it on from there, but they certainly need to tighten up in that back half where I thought they were pretty loose last quarter.
Brad Henderson to take us away with the third term.
Thanks very much, Ben Warren-Smith. It is a 16-point lead to the Hawks going into this second half of the qualifying final in Division 3, and what's at stake is a berth in the second semi-final, of course, next week. for the loser, they will get another chance. They'll play in the first semi-final next weekend. 16-point lead to the Hawks. Mackenzie out of the ruck, knocks it forward. Off the ground by Murphy. Sockers it forward once again, Kane Murphy. Ben Holland led the race to the ball, but was bypassed by a couple of Glen Waverley players, and certainly for Baronia, Jason Heath and Ben Holland did not kick a goal between them in that first half, and that is not what they'd expect from their two twin towers up forward. At the other end, Carnelli and Danny Gray both kicked 2 goals each, so the Hawks, Glen Waverley that is, Hawks getting much better service from their key forwards as Grice goes forward. Look at the Breeze get a hold of that ball, and Fiatutu judged it beautifully in the end. Safely pouches the mark. 2-2 kicks to the wing position, carries over the head of a number of players. Handball was shot out by Josh Allison. Ball close to the boundary line. Zickman. Handball was pretty clever. Got it to McGee. And Sullivan. Little handball to Cook. Now they're going forward, the Glen Waverley. Nice mark there by Ridquist. Didn't quite drag it in the end, the umpire said. So it'll be a ball up just inside the field of play.
I think Cook's been really lively.
I was going
too.
to say, great third effort there, Davo. Yeah. He actually 2 tackles, then made space and took it inside 50.
Oh, great opportunist goal by Danny Gray. 3 goals now for him today. That's the pick of them. That's probably the goal of the day here at East Burwood Reserve. And it stretches the lead for the Glen Waverley Hawks out to 22 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
It's only early, but real danger signs here for Baronia. As you said before, Brett Davidson, they haven't made a move. Heath's still sitting at full forward. They need to definitely do something, otherwise the bleeding will continue.
Yeah, and their back half stayed the same as well. They've matched up exactly the same players on exactly the same forwards, and you've got to not toss everything around, but change up a couple of things, because Gray's certainly got on top now.
Keno versus Mackenzie. Mackenzie took it straight out of the ruck and gave a no-man lands handball across the half-forward line. If I can spit it out, Sam Zickman took a mark for Glen Waverley across the wing position. He had players screaming for it. Then Grice copped one behind the play. I let it go. Kick by Zickman up towards the half-forward line. It was intended for Walker. 2-2's in there too. Gets down low. Garrity on hands and knees. Handballed it out towards the Foligno direction. Played for the free kick. Was good enough to hold the ball in there.
If 2-2 gets down low, is that called the splits?
Oh, comedy gold by Paul Hooper.
Missed you for a reason, Hoops.
We got him back for a reason too.
Sorry.
The umpire just waiting for players to separate themselves from the congested play. So throws it up eventually now. Zickman trying to kick the ball in over the boundary line and out of bounds with Josh Allison. We'll have another throw in. 3.5 minutes gone here in the third term. And Waverley lead it by 22 points. They got the first goal in this term. And Baronia get away. Foligno got the handball away. That was okay. The kick goes up towards the wing position. The Breeze really holding the ball up. Holland went for a fresh air shot in there to his mark foot. He wants to just hold the ball in. He did enough to do so. The umpire will come in and bounce it. Centre wing position here. Grandstand side. East Burwood Reserve. Great day of footy. Choose Tap final series in the Eastern Football League has begun. 5 weeks of the best. The umpire throws it up. Foligno was down low. He's going to come in and restart it again.
They actually have made a change for Baronia. Smith's gone to full forward. Heath's come out to a deep pocket, and they're trying to probably isolate Smith on 2-2.
Mackenzie had the front spot. Went really to nobody. Trying to break a tackle there was Ryquist. Kick up towards the half-forward line now for Glen Waverley. They're going to go backwards to go forwards. Hancock dropped what he probably should have taken, nearly earned himself a free kick. Had enough time to get up and bang it on the boot inside forward 50. They've still got players around the ball. Baronia, they might be able to get out of this. Good handball there. Off towards Hancock. He might be able to break a tackle. He can't. Charging in there is Leeson for Baronia. Needs to do it all himself. Got no teammate support. 2 handballs, and eventually Watson finds the ball. Across that outer side. Got it to Foligno. Got it back to Bolton. Broke one tackle, then needs to square the ball up and does so now to Grice. Then Grice wants to go on with it too. Sold the dummy. That was good play. Snapped it around the body. Good bit of movement there by Baronia. Bolton Up towards the half-forward line as a downfield free kick, you would expect. It'll go the way. No, well, it was holding against.
Holding in the contest.
Slung his opponent off the ball.
So Maudsley goes short, finds McGee. Half back line now for Glen Waverley. They're going to go direct. Carnelli comes out and takes a good mark. Centre half forward. He's about 55 metres out. He's been relatively quiet this afternoon. The kick is on, and what a good spot up it was too. Gets it across to Walker. He might play on and drive the ball through. Pushes it right across the face of goal though, and one behind is the result. Glen Waverley Hawks now on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard moved to 8 goals 6-54. It's a 23-point lead. Baronia 4-7-31. 6 minutes gone.
2 behinds today for Corey Walker as Leeson takes the mark from the kick in. Brings it up towards halfback. Smith the target. Gee, the ball just eluded him. Probably needed to straight line the ball a bit more, as they say.
Dyson Baker, thanks to Choose Tap.
3 inside 50s for the Glen Waverley Hawks. 1 mark inside 50 for 1 goal 1.
A lot of players around this footy. McGee fed it out. Hancock off a step. Bit of a floater across the face of goal. Gray charges out for it. Had Mollica in opposition. So they're sticking with that matchup, Davo. Mollica on Danny Gray, even though Gray has kicked 3 goals.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You'd hope that Mollica can really stay tight on him because Gray has got a fair bit of pace.
This is Allison against Carnelli. Walker now gathers it in nicely. Tries to paddle it out there to Cook. And there's a free kick going against the Hawks.
Which one?
No.
And
sorry.
25.
Sorry, it is against Glen Waverley and a 25-metre penalty. So, bit of undiscipline there. Thank you, Dyson. Holding the man was a free kick. Not sure what the 25 was for. Allen now, Nathan Allen. Fends off the would-be tackler. High kick for Holland. McGee at ground level does well, puts his body over the footy. Desperately and tenaciously tries to win it out. And in the end, forces a ball up. That was good work from Wayne McGee. He's had a good game today.
They just don't seem to have much system at the moment, do they, Baronia? There's just not a lot of you can see about them breaking through and kicking the goals that they need to. This is better.
Ball was fed out to Bolton. They go forward now. The Hawks. Smith, can he gather it in? Not quite. Just couldn't reel the mark in. Goes in hard again. He's finally coughed up the ball. 2-2 is off and running. 2 bounces. Tumbles the kick up towards the wing. Zickman has the presence of mind and the wherewithal to gather it and not rush too much, but in the end, lucky poor kick by Zickman, looking for Azapati, finding the boundary, and speaking of which, let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, just in the Glen Waverley forward line, Danny Gray has been the more prominent forward today, but they've gone with Azapati up forward there as well for the third quarter with the Breeze, but expect him to go down back in that last term.
Yeah, they do use him as that swingman
utility.
Glen Waverley, indeed. McKenzie, Foligno to Bazinskis, and he was bundled over the boundary line for another throw-in.
That's been the impressive part about Glen Waverley today. They haven't allowed Baronia any clean ball, and there was a lot of pressure then to push the ball out of bounds.
Foligno takes possession, but he's going to have to come back. So can Baronia just get a bit of a run on here, string a couple of goals together? It's just hasn't been happening for them today. Goals have been at a premium. They've found it hard, despite some great work in the midfield by players like Grice, who now gets the ball up towards the forward 50. Maudsley gathers it in beautifully, chisels the pass nicely to Lang, and David Lang safely holds the mark. Goes across the ground, bit of a dangerous kick, but in the end it worked out okay. Found Maudsley, who shares it with Sullivan. Sullivan's kick, there's loose players everywhere here for Glen Waverley. This is Irvine. Scott Irvine leans back on the kick, looks for Carnelli. Finds him now. Gee, did well there to keep his feet, Carnelli. Handballed it out to Walker. And Corey Walker just couldn't quite get a handle on it. Over the boundary line once more.
Two other finals going on around the grounds. Choose Tap second semi-final in Division 2. Rowville 9 points over Montrose. In Division 4, the qualifying final, 29-point lead to South Belgrave over Sylvan.
Taking possession was Henderson. Strong tackle being applied, and the umpire once again will throw it back into play. It is a 23-point lead to Glen Waverley, 8 goals 6 to Baronia, 4 goals 7 Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
One of the great things about the Glen Waverley Hawks is their forward pressure in this quarter.
Oh, it's been sensational. Their tackling has been top class.
Ball's thrown in. O'Reilly tried to grub her a kick along the boundary line. It eventually stays in. That was okay. Felino got the handball backwards. Baronia get it out of the danger zone, and the kick goes up towards the wing position. In there is Gray, also Keno. Right near that boundary line, we're going to have a boundary throw in next to that Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which shows Glen Waverley leading by 23 points at the 12-minute mark of this third quarter. It's qualifying final day. The winner to take on North Ringwood next week as the umpire throws it in. Stick your hand up, Dyson. Jess Bolton snapped it around the body. Kicked it up towards the Ben Holland direction. Handballed over the top. It's right near the boundary line. He wanted Watson. He's got Sullivan right on his hammer. The ball's eventually going to stay in. Good pressure by Gray to keep the ball alive and then snap it around the body. The umpire said, after all that work, I'm going to eventually throw it in. Dyson Baker around the grounds.
In Division 1, Vermont have trimmed their lead. Trimmed Vermont's lead, but Noble Park's lead back to 6 points, but the Bulls are kicking with an absolute breeze, so it's 6-point lead in favour of Noble Park at the moment.
Blackburn in front yet?
Pye throws it in. Felino's down there. We're going to have another restart. Some Choose Tap stats.
Yeah, look, inside 50s, really even. Baronia really trying to make the most of theirs. Still haven't scored from their 3 inside forward 50s. Glen Waverley Hawks 6 inside 50s, 2 marks inside 50 for 1 goal 1.
So the umpire threw it up. Holland tried to get boot to ball, but he had one of his arms pinged, so we'll have another bounce. Singh to go up against Holland. Far side of the ground, almost on the wing position. Glen Waverley going to steal this one and kick the ball out of the stoppage inside forward 50. Bouncing ball right near that boundary line. The first to meet it will be Luke Ellison. His handball wasn't too crash shot, put his teammate in under a lot of pressure. It's still around that 50-metre line defensively. As a party has it now for Glen Waverley. Great wrap-up tackle by Luke Ellison. Runs him over the boundary line and out of bounds. 40 metres out from goal. It's down Glen Waverley's end. Currently lead it by 23 points. Baronia just hanging on here as a party went up in the ruck that time. That was okay against Moore. Ball right near that boundary line. Trying to claim a mark. It probably only travelled 5 metres or so. So the kick will be rebounded through Dewar. Long driving kick towards Gray. Got up really high to the front of the ball. The ball, they had the numbers. Snap around the body. 2-2. Kicks it to the top of the goal square or thereabouts. But Allison's going to run away with this one of the Josh variety. Got the handball away to Moore. Got himself into a fair bit of trouble. Handballed across looking for Allen. He was wrapped up. And we'll have a ball up right near that boundary line. 45 metres out from goal. Glen Waverley are peppering.
This is the thing about their forward pressure. They just will not let it out.
And again, it's just the handball of Baronia is just not in the right spots, and that's from that pressure you talk about. Oops.
Henderson wanted the boundary line. Ball goes over it now. A couple of metres closer. 35 metres out from goal. Glen Waverley's end. They have the 3-goal breeze. So we're looking to stretch it a little bit further than the 23 points that it is now. Moore over the back, knocked it away for Baronia. Going nowhere though. Good tackle there by Corey Walker just to hold the ball up for Glen Waverley. 40 metres out from goal, but it's squared up. Pye wasting no time. Henderson versus Azzopardi. We'll give that one to Henderson. Came out, snap around the body by Dewar. Goes towards the forward pocket. Who's going to be in position? Gray was there, in fact, on the second bite. A mark's been paid. So Baronia.
So that's where Baronia should be really charging across the ground here, Damo.
Garrity's got it. That was a good little bit of play there too. The 1-2 by Felino went up towards the wing position. Had to beat 2 players, was Watson. Got one handle on it, then his second effort was good, but the Glen Waverley Hawks have the numbers. Good spoil on Lang there. The ball scoots up towards the half-forward line. Trying to pick it up was McKernan. Boundary line beats everybody right in front of the crowd here, in front of the bar, in front of the canteen. They're all getting amongst it. Baronia, they're just inching closer. The goal will be ever so handy as the umpire throws it in now. Holland got the front spot, then he got down. Big Singh got down also, snapped up by Gray. Got boot to ball, kicked it up towards the wing position. Copping a high one there. That time was Henderson, tried to scoot the ball out. Okay, Ryquist. The guy's got to come in and bounce this one. Player's going in very hard.
Update from South Belgrave, Sylvan Gave. South Belgrave from Victoria Halkis could kick the first 3 of the third term, leading by a mountain at the moment.
Henderson did really well to get it onto Grice, and now the Hawks of the Baronia variety are underway. Smith has a front spot. 2-2 nearly got over his shoulder. Front and centre, who's going to be there? McKernan needed to trap the ball. He just couldn't do it quickly enough. The umpire will bounce it. 40 metres out from the Baronia goals now at the 15-minute mark.
I actually thought that was pretty good defence from 2-2 then. People complaining about over the neck. I thought he did a pretty good job.
Gray went up against Holland, got it down to Smith, who went to give it back to Holland. He has to break the Whitecrest tackle. Got it across to Bainbridge. He played for a free kick and he earned it. Definitely copped one high. I was blindsided. The extra bit of theatre made sure that he get the free kick. So Shannon Bainbridge.
4th for the quarter for Baronia.
He obviously must have been coming back from a long injury, because this is the first time he's come back onto the ground. He's straight into it.
Bainbridge got it to McNamara, who sat it up to Holland, who comes out in front. So 25 metres out from goal, he's started the lead. He'll kick from about 30, but when you're in front and the ball held up the way it did, that was a spot to be.
McNamara was having a shot then, actually, but that's why he was given the handball by Bainbridge. So, but luck's the fortune, and a big man playing in front will always be a big chance to take the mark.
He's yet to kick a goal for the afternoon. We want to see him have more shots on goal. He's an important player. If Baronia are going to get over the line, and the kick is an absolute shocker. One-hander taken by Danny Kennell, the last line of defence. And what was really disappointing was there was no Baronia players on that goal line. 3 Glen Waverley Hawks could raffle it. So it'll be the big man, Danny Kennell, who'll switch the ball to the outer side.
Does indeed. That's inexplicable from Ben Holland as Grice takes possession for Baronia. Little handball to O'Reilly. Back to Grice. Grice's kick was clever. Forced onto his left foot that time, but he's good off either side as he gets it to Holland. Lovely pass from Ben Holland, and Lachlan Watson on a long lead takes the mark. Plenty of leads being offered further afield, and understandably, because Watson will really struggle into this breeze to make the distance.
Courtney Walsh run up.
This kick you would think will fall short. Baronia have to make sure they've got players back there to contend, although kicks through the ball nicely. The wind does get a hold on it, and Danny Keno just knocks it through with the greatest of ease for another minor score. As Baronia, it took them 16 minutes to get their first score of this third quarter. They're now on to 4 goals, 8:32. The Hawks are 8 goals, 6:54. Benny go back scoreboard.
Great discipline by Kenner there. On both occasions when Baronia were kicking for goals, he found himself on the goal line, and as a tall, he saved those 2 goals.
2-2's kick went to the middle of the ground, but it was chopped off there by McKernan, who went out wide. Good mark taken there by Scott McKenzie. The big ruckman wants to square things up to Bainbridge in the middle of the ground. Waiting for players to go further out wide. Swings around on that left boot. Kicks it towards the Holland direction. Front spot. Dutchie couldn't quite take it. Grice is at the fall of the ball. Handball was too hot for Watson. He spilled what he probably should have taken. Stolen by Riddle. Boots it into the middle of the ground. And Luxor Fortune. The Waverley Hawks are going to get away with this. Play in front, and that's what will happen. Sam Zickman takes the handball, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Irvine's out in front. He traps the ball. Got a good favourable bounce too. Kicks it inside forward. 51 bite. It was almost taken over the back of the pack. Picked up there by Bolton. He was quickly tackled. Still a hot footy there. Danny Gray tries to keep the ball alive. Handballed it across there to Irvine. Crunched over the boundary line and out of bounds. Dyson Baker with some choose tackle around the ground scores.
Update from Connor Ryan. Montrose continuing their good work in the third quarter. Jack Garthwaite has just put them in front after trailing by 9 points at half-time.
Well, I'll tell you what, Grice could not have done anything more in that forward pocket area there with that handball and pick up, and just spilled and now it's down the other end of the ground.
Well, the ball comes out towards the half-forward line now for Glen Waverley. So Baronia pushed it out, so we'll have a boundary throw-in right near that Baronia bench. They can't concede another goal. We've gone 20 minutes now in this third term, qualifying final day. Winner to take on North Ringwood next week in a spot for the finals. That was okay by McKenzie. Got it down to Grice. He was just tackled at the last stage. Got it along. Lang picked it up for Glen Waverley and banged it on his boot. It was a safety of it inside forward 50. Danny Gray had the back spot. In there is Allen. In there is Allison. Carnelli knocked it over the top. He had the run of Ben Worrell and he puts it through for one behind. He had an open goal. Bit of pressure as well. So minor score is the result. Very big let-off there for Baronia. Glen Waverley Hawks moved to 8 goals, 7:55. It's a 23-point margin. Baronia 4, 8:32.
Montrose turned it right around. A goal from Brett Johnson, another from Billy Schilling. Montrose now leading by 22 points through the third.
Kick comes back in. It was intended for Mackenzie. Understandably from the kick out going to the big ruckman, but he had a lot of opposition that time.
Again, it doesn't seem to be much structure in the way they move the ball. It's very hard to read exactly what Baronia are trying to do, whereas Glen Waverley, it's all about pressure, contested ball, and putting it into the two targets, Carnelli and Gray.
So Carnelli and Luke Allison compete in the ruck. Carnelli paddled it pretty cleverly over the back on that occasion. Tried to get it to Irvine. And another ball up. Felino at the bottom of the pack, as he has been on very many occasions this afternoon. Chance here for Riddle. Brad Riddle fires at the goals. Kick falls short. Danny Gray cops a high one. Still in play. And great desperation shown there by Moore. The Hawks managed, it was Mollica in fact, and Baronia managed to force him a minus score. Glen Waverley 8 goals, 9.57 now. Baronia 4.8.32. They are peppering, as you mentioned earlier, but at this stage on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, still Glen Waverley in control by 4 goals.
The kick comes out towards the half-back line. It was intended for Holland over the back. Bolton lost it. Gray on the left boot. Grubbers the kick inside forward 50. They need to be good here. Garrity paddles it away. Grice picked it up. He's got the silky skills to get themselves out of trouble, and he switches the play on the outer side. Finds Moore now. Wants to get onto that left boot. Kicks it up towards the wing position. It was a beautiful kick too. It was intended for Mackenzie. He was good enough to get it on the second bite. Gang tackled there. That was good play by foot to bring the big man down. McKernan scoops on it now for Baronia, but then he was tackled. Great ferocious play by both sides, but the umpire's going to pay a free kick and it'll go to Lockie McKernan.
5th free kick for Baronia this quarter. They lead 5 free kicks to 1.
Far side of the ground. Kick goes up towards the Watson direction. He's a great player. He takes a really good mark too, Lachlan Watson. Created a really good target for them. Inside forward 50, the kick goes now, and 2-2. We'll talk about players that have been doing well. He's been super.
3rd mark defensive 50 for fair, 2-2. 5 for the Glen Waverley Hawks.
He's an imposing figure. Always drives the ball long. Harry O'Brien style. The ball, the back of the pack. It's picked up by Allison. Kicks it up towards the wing position. Lux of Fortune, they're going to get away with this. Felino got the handball away, got it back, got it across to Watson. Watson searches across the 50, looks for the Heath direction. He had the back spot again, Heath. When Waverley are going to get out of this one. Riddle's going to receive the handball from Gray in the goal square, and now they're going to look to charge out the other side because Darren Dewar has an absolute paddock if they can get it to him and he can move it on. Dewar takes it on the mark. He's going to swing around onto that left boot. He was put under pressure by Bainbridge. That was great play, but the kick was even more super by Darren Dewar. Carnelli comes out and takes a really good mark. 60 metres out from goal. You know he'll go long. You know he'll kick it to the hot spot. Carnelli does that now. Very long kick to the top of the goal square. Getting a handle on it was Andrew as a party, but over the behind line, a 4-1 behind, and of course moving the Glen Waverley Hawks on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to 8 goals, 9.57, leading Baronia 4 goals, 8.32 at the 24-minute mark of this third term.
Jess Moore to bring the ball back in for Baronia. Thumping kick intended for Mollica. Over the back, Hancock tries to win the footy. Felino's involved once again.
Boundary.
And let's cross boundary to the Akira Urgent Care Boundary Riders.
Absolutely freezing down here, boys. I think we'll see the Duke starting to go out of this one with the boys starting to get cold fingers.
Well, we can't feel it up here, so...
Suffer.
Grice takes possession. Has it for a long time. McNamara it was. Gave it on to Moore. Lovely kick by Jess Moore. Finds Dean Grice on the wing. Puts himself under a bit of pressure, Grice, but his kick was a pretty good one, although Glen Waverley had plenty of numbers at the back. Lang hunts down the footy. Does he get some help? Finally he does from Sullivan. High up and under kick. Walker does well. And the siren sounds to complete a third quarter where Baronia were held goalless and only kicked 1 behind for the term. They have 4 goals, 8.32. Glen Waverley Hawks are 8 goals, 9.57 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at 3/4 time.
25 points the margin out here on qualifying final day between Glen Waverley Hawks and Baronia. Baronia kicked with the breeze in the last term. Can they come back? Only time will tell right here on EFL Game Day.
Saturday night is party night on Radio Eastern when we bring you the Platter Parade, 7 to 10. We roll through 50 years of timeless classics, guaranteed to make your party go with a swing. So put on your dancing shoes and join our team of presenters for the Platter Parade. More than just the hits, Saturday nights at 7 on Radio Eastern 98.1. Oh, and you don't even need a pub.
Radio Eastern 98.1. Baronia back here in the studio at 6 to 4. And this is EFL Gameday. And we'll return for the last quarter of that very exciting game in just a moment. Just checking some AFL scores right at the moment. And the game at Etihad Stadium this afternoon is between St Kilda and GWS. And it's all one-way traffic. St Kilda 21-8-134. Leading GWS 3-5-23. So a significant lead there to GWS, or I should say St Kilda there. And the other game is between Port Adelaide and the Brisbane Lions, and much closer game at AAMI Stadium, and it's the 13-minute mark of the third quarter, and it's the Brisbane Lions 10-7-67 leading just Port Adelaide 10-6-66, so a close game indeed, to the tune of 1 point for the Brisbane Lions. Now, you have sudden fever, aching body, sore throats, chills, nausea, headache, and dizziness, then it sounds like you need medical assistance urgently. And it's difficult getting an immediate appointment with your GP when you need care fast. So come to a Care Urgent Care where you don't need an appointment and you won't have to wait. They're Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic. So walk in at 157 Scoresborough, Baronia, or call them on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Care Urgent Care. Your health, your destiny.
In footy, the best players always get tagged. In Melbourne, the best and cheapest way to get around the tollways is to get your car tagged. That's because a Breeze account works on EastLink and it works on CityLink too. A tag's also the cheapest way to use EastLink and CityLink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au and start winning as a tagger today. Speaking of winning, my team's a sure thing for 4 points today and maybe the premiership. Come on up, that was in the back. EastLink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor. In desperate need of some windows but your budget's too tight? Never fear, because the team at T&B Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. We have surplus windows to suit the needs of any budget. We're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road East, Bayswater North. Give us a call, 8727-7506. That's 8727-7506. T&B Window Warehouse. Don't forget the name, part of the EAL and AW Transport Group. Number 1 in window transport. Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Well, the Premiership quarter has been and gone in this Division 3 Choose Tap qualifying final, but Baronia did not look like premiers at all in that term. Glen Waverley 8-9-57 to Baronia 4-8-32. 25 points is the margin. Glen Waverley in that term kicking 1 goal for to Baronia, just the one behind. So quite disappointing on that behalf. And just a couple of other scores around the league. I just got one at the moment. Connor Ryan, leading newspapers, Connor Ryan out at Rowville-Montrose at the moment. Rowville were up by 9 points at half-time, but now find themselves 29 points down, approaching the end of the third term. So Montrose in front by about 29 points at the moment. While we wait for some more scores to come through and the huddles to break up, let's cross to Dyson Baker with some stats that matter from that third term, all thanks to Yarra Valley Water. Be smart, choose tap.
I'll quickly race through the goal kickers first up. Danny Gray, 3 for the game, including 1 in that third term. The only goal in that third term. Matty Carnelli with his 2 in the first term. Wayne McGee with 2 and Sam Zickman with 1. While for Baronia, Dean Grice has 2, Craig Folino has 1 and Jess Bolton has 1. Running through some of the interesting stats, it sort of played reasonably even, and pretty much the opposite of that second term. Looking through the inside 50 count, 16 to Glen Waverley Hawks. It was only 10 to Baronia, but Glen Waverley Hawks, as we said during the break, it was a really wasted opportunity. They started blazing away in terms of their usage inside forward 50. They only managed to score, as we said, the 1 goal for that quarter. Only 1 mark inside forward 50. While for Baronia, they went inside 50 10 times. 2 marks inside forward 50, but only managed the 1 behind for the term. marks for that quarter, 16 apiece for 58 to 51 in favour of Glen Waverley Hawks for the game. Hit-outs evened up a little bit, 14 to Baronia, 12 to the Glen Waverley Hawks, but Baronia finally started to find some run out of the centre, getting the first the only two centre clearances of that term, but leading the clearances 11 to 6. Going through the marks inside their defensive 50, Baronia just the one. Glen Waverley Hawks still cleaning up off the back with 2. But reasonably even right across the board. The only stat really dominated was the free kick count, and that was led convincingly by Baronia 6-1. So it'll be interesting to see if Baronia can work their way back. It's going to be a long haul, though.
Certainly will be. Thanks for your work, Dice. Thanks to Choose Tap. An unbelievable score out of Jubilee Park. Montrose kicked 7 goals for to 1 behind in the third term, and Montrose at three-quarter time lead by 36 points. 11-4-70 to Rowville, 5-4-34. They look like they're going to head straight to the Division 2 Choose Tap Grand Final. In other scores, South Croydon have extended their lead on Blackburn, 13-11-89 to Blackburn 5-10-40, 49 points the margin, and Scoresby 17-14, 116. Leading Croydon 4-4-28, 88 points the margin there, and goals from Ziggy Orwin and Luke Mann have put Noble Park 21 points in front of Vermont late in the term. Let's head down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care, Andy and Paul on the boundary.
Yeah, the Glen Waverley coach, Mick Gall, the very softly spoken coach at that, really implored his players to just be intense in that last quarter. Tackling pressure he wants at a premium. He said 4 goals means nothing, and that he wants his players to win the quarter.
And on the other side of the coin, boys, Baronia know they can win it. Plenty of positivity. Just watch for Dan Grice. Doesn't have a lot of match fitness, so just watch for him. Might run out of legs.
Last quarter about to get underway. Brad Henderson, take us away.
Thank you very much, BWS. Thanks to Paul and Andy there on the boundary for Akira Urgent Care. As the last quarter gets underway, it is 25 points the lead for Glen Waverley Hawks. In that third quarter, they only managed 1 goal for. But Baronia just kicked the one solitary behind for the term. It was disastrous for them in that third quarter. Funnily enough, though, they're still in with a chance. There's time enough if they're good enough. They need to get rolling early in this last quarter, though, as 2-2. Went for the little soccer kick off the ground. Now it's Smith for Baronia at half-back. Showing glimpses of what he's capable of today, Matt Smith, without certainly playing anywhere near his best footy. McGee's quick kick around the corner, and it lands safely in the arms of Carnelli, who punches the kick forward, but it's chopped off by McNamara. Richie McNamara to halfback. Got it to Bolton. Leeson. Short pass is on by Leeson. Was effective. And through the middle now they go Foligno from East Burwood and East Ringwood midfielder, who's had a fine day today. Certainly one of the Baronia's better players. Dewar from the wing, thumps it forward, nice pass, gets it on to Irvine. He's done some good things today for Glen Waverley Hawks. Irvine to Danny Gray on a long lead. Nice spoil by Mollica. Gray went to ground at the crucial stage. Was shot out to Josh Allison. Tumbles a kick around the corner. Got it to Mackenzie, who paddled it on. Not sure that was the best option. McGee's little kick forward, and McGee has put it out of bounds, but it must have landed just inside the field of play, and we'll have a throw in. Outer side of East Burwood Reserve, the scoreboard side of the ground, where the Hawks still lead by 25 points. Foligno just keeps finding the footy. Little handball over the top to Zickman. Out into open space. Gray leads a long race for the ball. Around the corner, Danny Gray's kick. It'll just sit up in the goal square. Riddle swoops on the footy. Can he keep it in? He does so. Paddles it back. Nicely done, though, by Leeson. Puts himself into pressure, or under pressure. Carnelli's high, up and under kick. Big fly from Gray. And there's a mark in the square to Brad Riddle. And somehow he's come up with it. There's a pack of 5 and Brad Riddle's taken the mark. The shortest man in the pack.
Not only that, in that last bit of play, it was like a touchdown. He went over the point line, put the ball back into play. great tackle, defensive forward tackle, kicked the ball up, and he's taken a great mark in the middle of the pack. So this could be an absolute, well, nearly a sealer if he kicks this.
On an angle, but you'd expect him to kick the goal, and he makes it, does it easily, went with the check side, slots it through, and Brad Riddle has got his first goal of the day. It is the Glen Waverley Hawks 9th, and they are 9-9-63. Baronia 4-8-32. Brad Riddle charges off, as he's done all day today when he's had to go to the interchange. He gets there pretty quick. It's a 31-point lead to Glen Waverley on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Forward line pressure, we've spoken about it all day with the Glen Waverley Hawks, and what Riddle did there, as you said, Brett, he was able to drag the ball back in and keep it live, and that's what it was all about.
Exactly, and I just looked at the body language of the Baronia back half. Didn't look good.
They're hanging on by a thread, Baronia. They might get this clearance too. Good play by McKenzie. Bangs it on his boot inside forward 50. Pat Garrett, he's moved down to the forward line. Couldn't quite take the mark as a party wants the safety of the boundary line, but he had Dean Grice on his hammer. He got it back to Smith. Smith snapped it around the body, kicked it to the hot spot of the pocket over the back of the pack. Hancock's there, but the boundary line beats all players, and we'll have a boundary throw in right forward pocket down Baronia's end.
Yeah, just an update from Noble Park. 8-6-54, Vermont 5-9-39, but the Eagles coming home with a 3-4 goal berries from Frosty Baird.
Pye throws it in now. They need a goal. Over the back, Holland got it down, went through Grice's hands right near that boundary line. It's scooped up that time there by McKernan. And kick had a very low percentage attached to it, and he kicked it out of bounds on the full. So Glen Waverley will be able to rebound here.
I like the idea of Garrity and Grice down forward. That'll just, if you're going to take a risk, that's the sort of risk you need to take.
Wayne McGee's got the pill. Glen Waverley waiting for players to stream onto the grandstand side of the ground. The kick was half smothered. It fell into the arms of Grice. He was quickly wrapped up in a tackle by Dan Sullivan, and we'll have a ball up 45 metres out.
With that free kick, BWS, no one was making any space for the Glen Waverley Hawks. He had nothing to go to, so he just went down the line, and we've seen a turnover.
Umpire throws it up once again. Holland got that knocked down, got a second bite on it too. It comes out towards Smith. He needs to be able to trap the ball. That was okay by Hancock. Handballed the ball out of the danger zone. Smith's in there for Baronia. It paddles that towards Foligno. He needs players out wide, or he might just try and do it all himself. Broke 2 tackles. Got the handball across to McKernan on the left boot. Tries to bring it back. He almost did too. Rushed over for one behind. So Baronia on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard moved to 4 goals, 9-33. They're still trailing by five goals out here. Glen Waverley Hawks 9-9-63.
It's Maudsley who kicks it to the wing position, but the Hawks, Baronia that is, will get it forward once more. No mark taken as a party. He's had a fairly quiet day in many regards, I guess, so there's more to come from him, you'd think, when Glen Waverley next front up. He's actually had a quiet couple of weeks after kicking 9 about a month ago. Andrew Azzopardi hasn't been in his best form the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks since then. Keno paddled it down. High up and under kick. McKenzie did pretty well initially. Couldn't quite get away with the footy though. Foligno is all wrapped up, and he was going absolutely nowhere there. It was David Lang who made sure that Craig Foligno was stopped in his tracks. Keno wins the tap this time. Quick kick by Zickman. Irvine tries to get to the footy, does so now. Zickman. Long kick forward by Hancock. Gray paddled it down nicely to Rydquist. Leeson works his way back nicely, just prowling that area defensively for Baronia. He's done a good job today. Jess Moore. Nice long left foot pass was effective. Out towards the wing. Baronia, last throw of the dice sort of time you'd think for them.
That was great defence from Tutu then, wasn't it? He was 4 back when he attacked that ball, and he's punched it from centre half back nearly out of bounds. So he's really defended well today.
Around the grounds, three-quarter time, South Croydon by 49 points over Blackburn. Baldwin by 29 points over East Ringwood. Scoresby comfortable over Croydon. East Burwood by 11 points over Knox. And Noble Park, as we heard, 15 points over Vermont, but Vermont coming home with a breeze.
Well, the free kick's been paid in the goal square. And there was some holding on. It's gone to McNamara. And I think it was paid for some holding on to Richie McNamara. So what's he done today? Hasn't troubled the scorers at all. Desperately needed goal here for Baronia. You'd expect him to kick it.
If they're going to have any chance, he has to.
And he's done exactly that. So Richie McNamara kicks the goal for Baronia. And it takes the Baronia Hawks on to 5-9. 5 goals, 9-39, leading, trailing the Glen Waverley Hawks 9-9-63 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And let's cross boundary side with Andy and Paul, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, boys, Jason Heath just got dragged by Drew O'Hare. I'll be very surprised if we see him again for the rest of the day. He has had an absolutely shocking afternoon.
Thank you to Paul Mercedes down boundary line.
I watched after that goal, and Baronia didn't look all that excited after they kicked the goal. You know, you'd think they'd really be getting themselves up, but they went through the motions and all just walked back to the middle. It was quite weird, really.
Well, Glen Waverley got the clearance, and now the ball's inside forward 50 for them. Wrapped up in a tackle is Dean Ryquist. We'll have a bounce, 45 metres out from goal.
It's only 24 points.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they're in it. They're in it if they get their game together. They're definitely in it.
And they're kicking with the breeze.
Well, the umpire threw the ball up. It's in the hot spot now. Glen Waverley have it about 40 metres out from goal. Lang snaps it around the body. And at the last line of defence in the goal square, Richard McNamara covering a lot of ground. Takes the mark, drives the ball out wide. Coming in for the spoil was Darren Dewar, and he took it on the second bite. The umpire said no, it was play on. He got the handball across. Brad Riddle couldn't quite trap it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Dyson Baker around the grounds.
Just looking at the Division 1 ladder as it stands, Norwood from Scoresby, Baldwin, Vermont, Noble Park.
Pye throws it in. 50 metre line for Glen Waverley Hawks. Carnelli took that ruck, comes down, trying to get it out was Nathan Allen, nearly copped a high one. In there too, Corey Walker will have a bounce.
Speak about wasted opportunities, boys. Going inside forward 50, pretty much the same at 50 odd apiece. Although Baronia have managed to only kick a 1 in 10 ratio as opposed to Glen Waverley's 1 in 9.
McNamara got it out to Allison, and now Baronia are charging the ball up towards the half forward line. Garrity fell over at the last time. Really hurt his teammates there. The handball now comes out towards David Lang. He had to be good. He had to ride 2 tackles, and then he just sat on it. He might get pinged here. Very lucky to get away with that, David Lang. So the ball's on centre wing here, grandstand side, East Burwood Reserve.
I reckon they've umpired well, these two.
Absolutely they have.
They've been super all afternoon and pretty much most of the season. The umpires in the EFL. The ball comes out to Allen though for Baronia. Kicks it up towards the centre half forward position. Going out in front there was Grice. He dropped exactly what he should have taken. The handball came out from Maudsley, put his teammate under a lot of pressure. In Worrell got the handball out towards Cook. He was gang tackled. They're still going in hard. Baronia Henderson charged in. He got gang tackled. The umpire's not going to ping him for that one. We'll have another bounce.
I reckon you've got the next 2 minutes are crucial in this game. I reckon it's riding on the next 2.
Henderson versus Singh. Singh got the knockdown. At that time, Dyson got it straight towards Ryquist. Wanted to get 2-2 if he could meet him in the middle. Just breaks 1 tackle, broke 2, and then banged it on his boot. Inside or thereabouts to inside forward 50. Darren Dewar leads the foot race. Fisted away there by Jess Bolton. He had support in there in Malika. They've got to have time. They've got to use the extra player they've got out there. And now Moore will be away if the ball can just sit up for him. He ended up leaving it for O'Reilly. He's going to switch the ball into the middle of ground. That's not a bad idea because Shannon Bainbridge is there. He's going to go towards the Pat Garrity direction. He kicks it straight over the top of his head. Pack forms across the half back line, picked up there by Maudsley, chopped off, and a pot shot at the goals by Baronia, and I think that was by McNamara. In fact, it was Nathan Allen, and a bounce through for one behind, so there was no one deep there for Baronia that time. They had a pot shot on the goals. Glen Waverley Hawks lead at 63-40. Dyson Baker around the grounds.
Update from the ball ring, the captain standing up. Brian Mullett kicks one from a suburb away in the first minute, down to 9 points out there at Noble Park.
Peter Baird giving us a play-by-play out there today at the bull ring after his 8th helping. The ball comes in from the kick in out towards the half back line. Glen Waverley, they're going to surge away.
They do indeed. It's at half back. The kick in was from as a party, and now it's up towards the wing. Hancock was seemed to be in the prime position, but in the end, boundary throw in is the result. 23 points. Glen Waverley Hawks lead. back into play. Nobody really went up for the ruck contest that time. Little quick kick was by Bolton, was crucial. Murphy, who hasn't done a lot today, got it to Smith. Matt Smith's kick, looking for Holland. Big spoil from Josh Gray. Grice rove the pack nicely. And he's just missed in the end.
That was
almost created something out of nothing.
Wow.
He's kicked 2 goals today and almost kicked his third. Baronia now 5-11. Glen Waverley 9 goals 9. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
They wasted no time with it either, Glen Waverley. They had players out wide in Lang and he found Gray further on. So they got it out of the danger zone relatively quickly there, Glen Waverley. Just need to hold up the next 10 minutes or so. The kick, Singh fell over at the last second. Henderson took the ball, got it onto Holland. Dutchy swings around on that left boot, kicks it to 25 metres out. Coming across, taking a great mark, Lachlan Watson. He's been told to go on with it, but he knows the importance of this kick. And he's been pretty good today, Lachlan Watson, and he'll have a shot from about 45 metres out from goal.
Yeah, look, I think he's probably been their most effective forward, actually. He's every time the ball's gone down there, he's taken good marks. He's thought that he's through his game well, and this is a crucial kick.
He's kicked 3 behinds for the afternoon, yet to put a major on the board, and this is a very important kick, and he hasn't squeezed it through. The goal umpire, he played to the crowd, but he ended up crossing his left chest and giving it 1 behind. Baronia, 5 goals, 12-42. It's a 21-point ball game, 15 minutes gone here in the final term. Glen Waverley, 9-9, 63.
Kick comes back in. It is 4 behinds now for the day for Lachlan Watson. I reckon he's been their most dangerous forward. He's looked really good, but just hasn't finished off his work. And 5 goals, 12 for Baronia, and that's a poor kick out of bounds on the full. So they've got another chance here to reload Baronia. It's with McNamara.
This will be their 13th inside 50, thanks to Choose Tap.
Thank you, Dyson, as McNamara's kick is poor. And Zickman had that kick well and truly scouted. Safely takes the mark. Kicks to 2-2. Fia 2-2 has a bounce. Comes away from half back. Looking for Cook. Nicely taken though by Leeson. Clever little kick. And Baronia, they just keep giving themselves more and more opportunities to come back into this game. But they always fall down. Usually around this part of the ground. There's Grice again, and Dean Grice again just off target. Despairingly close this time. He's got 2 goals, 2 for the afternoon, Dean Grice. It's been a great return. But now Baronia 5-13. They trail the Glen Waverley Hawks 9 goals, 9 at Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Baronia kicked 2 goals, 7 in the second quarter with this breeze, and they've now kicked 1 goal, 5 in this final term.
Time's ticking away too. 15 and a half minutes gone in this final term. 2-2 kicked it up towards the wing position. Ball held up and Sam Zickman had the front spot, so he takes a mark. Happy just to hold on to it as long as he possibly can. Kicks it up towards the dual direction. He's got to beat 3 players. Allison over the back of the pack. He took a good mark for Baronia. He wants to get on with it quickly. Kicked it straight into the arms of Ryquist. He tried to break a tackle, thought it was a mark. The umpire said it didn't go far enough. Zickman came in, Moore laid the tackle, and now they're going to get away with it. Watson got the handball away for Baronia. He gets it along to Murphy. Murphy kicks it inside forward 50. The target's going to be Holland. Can he stand tall and take a mark? He can.
Sandwiched.
In fact, it's actually Scott McKenzie who's drifted. No, it was Holland. So he takes a great mark, 20 metres out from goal, and surely, Brett, he's going to make the distance on this one.
Well, you'd hope he made the distance, but also the accuracy. This is their second shot from basically directly in front. You just can't miss these in this crucial time.
To reduce the margin to 14 points, he just pops it over the goal umpire's head, straight through the middle, and that is the goal that they've been looking for. And once again, the Baronia side can't lift themselves. They don't get around him, so they still remain in this game, but they don't seem too excited about it. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Baronia moved to 6 goals, 13-49, still trailing the Glen Waverley Hawks by 14 points, 9-9, 63. Dyson Baker around the grounds.
Norwood by 51 points over Lillardale at three-quarter time, dominating that one, but Mullet doing all the right things at the bull ring. Mullet found Galano to reduce the margin back to 3 points. Vermont are coming in the last term.
14 points, the deficit here. All of a sudden it has gotten a bit too close for comfort from the Glen Waverley Hawks. And there is a free kick and a card. Yellow card, you would think.
I think it's on Bainbridge too.
It is indeed Shannon Bainbridge, and it's Sam Zickman, who I think copped one in the solar plexus and he's very slow to get up.
Milking it for all he's worth, I think.
Yeah, look, I saw that ball.
Knew the umpire was looking.
And he did. He got a little tap. He was actually...
He's been dumped again.
Take control now.
That's ridiculous.
Well, it's still going on in the middle. And I was just watching Bainbridge as he left the field, and he had a bit of a clash with Hancock as he was coming off. But there's a bit more going on in the middle of the ground also.
Look whose hands it's in too.
He did get decked after he kicked it again, and it just didn't need to happen.
So it's with Matty Carnelli. He has kicked 2 goals today. The crowd have come alive. You can hear that in our FX microphone. And Carnelli for goal number 3. Beautiful kick. Splits the middle. And Glen Waverley Hawks pull it back out to a 20-point lead. Ill-disciplined, costly then for Baronia. Glen Waverley Hawks 10 goals 9. Baronia 6-13. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And unbelievably, Baronia kicked the last 2 goals of the game to give themselves a sniff, and that undisciplined play in the centre of the ground's hurt them.
Just no need to do it. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in this next minute. See what happens with Baronia, whether they lose the plot or not.
Ball back in the middle of the ground, margin back out to 20 points. Riddle took it, he was dispossessed, still right in there. Allen tried to break a tackle for Baronia, he copped a high one. The umpire was in position A to see that one, so Nathan Allen will have the kick for Baronia. He'll want to move it on quickly. He's got Allison out wide if he wants to use him. He does so now, but put him under a fair bit of pressure with the handball coming in there. That was a pretty good play there by Hancock, but Baronia have got the numbers. Foligno got the handball across there to McKernan, broke one tackle, got the handball away. It was intended for Murphy. They're going to get out of this. Glen Waverley McGee picks it up and bangs it on his boot, kicks it into the middle of the ground, taking a good diving mark. Lachlan Watson for the Hawks. Pushes the ball out wide. Finds his teammate in Leeson, sold the dummy, then drives the ball to the hot spot. Nick Holland was the intended player, but 2-2 at the back of the pack. Jeez, he does that well. He reads the play super for your 2-2, and he just tells everybody just to slow it down a little bit, pushes it out wide, finds as a party.
4th marked defensive 50, 4th fair 2-2 this afternoon.
You see when Allen had it in the middle of the ground just earlier that a few Glen Waverley Hawks players jumped on him and a few fists going in there. Underneath little payback.
The kick came out towards the half-back line, paddling it over the boundary line and out of bounds, another stoppage. So 20 points the margin, 20 minutes gone here. Just reaching time on Dyson Baker around the grounds.
3/4 time in the other games, I'll just go through them. Montrose led by 36 points at 3/4 time over Rowville, and South Belgrade by 56 over Sylvan.
Foligno got it onto Garrity. He left it, picked up out of nowhere by Allison. Grub it up towards the top of the goal square. Murphy's in there. Can he get boot to ball? Charging through Andrew as a party. The skipper bangs it on his boot out towards the Jewel direction. He has to stand tall, and he does so. Takes a good mark and now wants to get around onto that left boot. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line out in front. Corey Walker takes it as well. And the left footers working together. Walker drives the ball to centre half forward now. Jess Moore takes a good mark for Baronia. Carnelli thought he was fouled upon. The umpire didn't want a bar of it. So Moore kicks it over the top. Puts his teammate under a lot of pressure in Watson in the middle, but he's going to earn the free kick. In fact, it was Malika. In fact, it was Allison. So 3rd time lucky. Baronia go up towards the half-forward line. It was a shocking kick too. Maudsley came charging out, banged it on his boot up towards the Ryquist direction. Meeting it first, though, was Jess Moore. Broke one tackle, kicked it on the left boot up towards the half-forward line. That was okay because Bolton took the mark. Now he's away. He's got short options on. That was clever, but coming in late and spoiling the ball on Ben Holland. They've still got the numbers. Garrity's down there. Smith gets a handball now. He must kick this goal, Smith. He pushes it across the right-hand side and misses the lot. So out of bounds on the full. And we'll have Glen Waverley charging back through. Dyson Baker around the grounds.
Update from Frosty Bed. Robbie Ross has just kicked a goal to put the Eagles in front at the 10-minute mark of the final term over Noble Park.
Blackburn in front yet?
Not quite. Getting there.
The ball's been kicked in by Glen Waverley. We should have had a slab on it. Goes out towards the Wayne McGee direction.
You said you were drinking water still, though, weren't you, Hooks?
I'm drinking water, yeah. It's got hops and barley in it.
Ball went up towards the wing position, front spot Dean Grice. Took the mark and then went on with it. Bangs it on his boot, kicks it inside forward. 50, Holland's got to be the flyer over the back of the pack. Who's going to be down? Holland actually gave away a free kick. whilst Bazinkas was running to an open goal. So just time eating away now from the Baronia side. You'd expect there'd be not enough time left in this, especially with undisciplined play happening in the last 5 minutes. Another 25-metre penalty given away.
Not giving the ball back relatively quickly.
Just silly play really at the end of the day, isn't it? Gray takes it. The Glen Waverley kicks it out wide to Darren Dewar. Making a really big play for the Narellan Pools player of the day today, Darren Dewar. Start thinking of your votes, gentlemen. And of course, the Trojan workhorse of the afternoon will be chosen by Brett Davidson.
Oh, pressure.
So it's in the arms of McGee. Kicks it up towards half forward, out in front. Corey Walker just flies for the ball so well. Generally pulls it down too. He's going to kick it to the pocket. Who's going to be there? Carnelli or Gray had to beat 3 players in the end. The ball's fisted away, picked up by Josh Allison. Little grubber kick. It was okay. The mark's been taken by Grice across the half back line. Switches the play now to Moore, who's coming to this game when it's all but over. Across the half back line. Waiting. The kick was intended that time for Bazinkas. He was up to the task and paddled it to his advantage. Carnelli came charging out. Look at that for breaking a tackle. Just go on with it, Matty. Boots his ball inside forward 50. That time it was intended for Tim Cook. He quite couldn't get it. Moore's going to run away with it again for Baronia. Kicks the ball up towards the wing position. Who's going to fly for it? It's Matty Bazinkas. And it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Ever since you told me, Hoops, how to pronounce his name, I haven't been able to get it right.
Bazinkas.
Dyson Baker around the grounds.
Thanks to Choose Tap, I'll go this way. Baronia 19 inside 50s in this quarter. Glen Waverley 9, though Glen Waverley have kicked 2 goals to Baronia's 2 goals 5. So much more accurate in this last term.
Last throw of the dice for Baronia. Watson swigs it around on the left boot. What a super kick that was. We've talked about him all afternoon, and Lachlan Watson, just in the nick of time, kicks his first goal for the afternoon. And well, maybe there is still a sniff. They need to kick 4 in 4 minutes, but it could still be done.
Not in this lifetime, I wouldn't think. But good opportunist goal then.
Well, it's down to 3 goals.
Exactly.
I've seen funnier things, but I won't see it today.
Comments from according to Peter Baird, the 41st best coach in the EFL. Is that what he called you?
Unbelievable. Ball back in the middle, Brad Henderson. This game maybe still be alive.
Still alive. 14 points the margin, but it would take a couple of goals in basically from this clearance. Here they go though. McKernan out of the middle, belts it forward. Big fist by 2-2. A lot of players around the footy. Smith, he can be deadly around goals. Matt Smith's kick drifts across the face and a great disciplined punch. Smacked through for a minor score, and you would think that that's the last throw of the dice there.
That was the one. They needed to take a mark there, and that would have really, thrown things up. But
it'd be highway robbery if Baronia got up from here, though.
Oh, yeah.
Dyson
without
Baker.
a doubt.
3 goals 6 in this last term from 21 inside 50s for Baronia. Only the 2 marks inside forward 50.
As a party had the kick in, it was intended for Gray. He was up to the challenge. That was good play. Paddled it to his advantage. They've moved it along towards Mark Foote now. Across the half back line. They've been good at getting the ball out from the kick-ins, Glen Waverley today. Kick goes further along.
I think their disposal all over the ground has been better than Baronia's all day, actually.
David Lang takes the mark. Eating up valuable seconds. They're going for the short passes. Sam Zickman makes position 8. 20 metres further on, right in front of that Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Currently shows a 13-point margin to the Glen Waverley Hawks. It's across their half-forward line now. Ball's driven inside forward 50. Gray's at the back of the pack. Standing true is Luke Allison in the front spot. Takes a mark. Just needs to get it onto the boot and drive the ball along, and he does so now. A huge fly over the back of the pack. Creates a bit of a foot race across the half-forward line for Baronia. They need to be up to this one. They're not going to be, though, because Glen Waverley's kick was half-smothered, though. They're still alive across the half-forward line. Players streaming for it and making position A. Pat Garrity takes a mark about 45 metres out from goal, and he was called upon by Brett Davison at three-quarter time to go up to the forward line, and this is an important kick.
It is. I mean, it puts them within 7. Well, it's not...
So Pat Garrity on the siren, a little bit of a let-off. It's to reduce the margin further, and he comes in from 50 metres, and he's actually put it through for a goal. So a good finish there by Baronia. They moved to 8 goals, 14-62. It ended up being a 7-point margin out here at East Burwood Reserve. A terrific win by the Glen Waverley Hawks. They led it from go to woe, and they advanced to the preliminary final next week against North Ringwood. What a game that is going to be. The final score once again, Glen Waverley Hawks 10-9-69, Baronia 8 goals, 14-62, but Baronia had their chances.
They did, you know, they had those couple of shots directly in front. They've had 9 shots or 10 shots at goal in the last quarter. But look, as Hoop said, they didn't deserve it if they got over the line.
And look, a 7-point ball game isn't really what the game was about.
No.
That doesn't show to me. That shows a really close game. It wasn't that. The one who I really felt sorry for was Ben Holland, because he was dominating in the ruck, and as he was dominating the ruck, they had to move him down forward because Heath was doing nothing.
Let's cross down boundary side with Andy Paolacci, because he's with a very happy and less tense now that the game's over, Mick Gall.
Yeah, I've got Mick Gall with me here. Congrats today, Mick. You got off to a fast start and you're never headed. Besides the obvious, what was the most pleasing aspect about today's win?
Yeah, look, I just think the way we battled it out. I mean, they had the win there in the last quarter, and our boys were pretty relentless through the whole game, particularly when we were going against the win. And I think that's probably where we won the game in those 2 quarters. The second and probably the fourth quarter. So it was a sensational effort by the boys, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. You individualised a few players in Corey Walker and Danny Gray at quarter time with players they need to lift. How did you rate their response after the initial break there?
Yeah, look, they were great. Danny Gray started off really well and then sort of dropped off. They probably shut him down a little bit. He lifted, once he copped that bit of a kick up the backside. Corey Walker was the same. So, we also asked a few of our midfielders to lift, and I thought they were really good sort of as the game went on, which was great.
Definitely. And now you look to North Ringwood match, chock full of confidence, for the direct passage to the grand final. How do you best prepare against the Saints next week?
Yeah, look, we'll regroup during the week, and there's a few things obviously we need to work on. What's the scores? We've had 9 shots on goal, so we probably need to lift our efficiency with our goal scoring. So we'll probably have a look at that over the week.
Definitely. And were you worried there towards the end of the match?
No, not really. No, I mean I thought we did enough to sort of hold on to it. We sort of the boys were starting to feel a little bit tired towards the end. I thought we were a better side all day, and they obviously Baronia finished off well, but they probably got a couple easy shots on goal there. But that happens. You're not going to keep good sides down.
Definitely. Congratulations, worthy winners today. Well done.
Thanks very much, Tar.
Thank you very much to Andy Paolacci and Mick Gall down boundary side. Follow them in, guys, because we want to hear the song, and of course there'll be plenty more time for some interviews. But let's go to Dyson Baker, because the scores are streaming in from around the east.
Yeah, first side into a Choose Tap grand final. Montrose with a 4-goal win over Rowville, 11-7-73, defeating Rowville 7-7-49. So Montrose into their second successive grand final.
And stay tuned for Ray Baird's report after the match on 98.1 Radio East, and he'll be coming on at about 20 to 6 tonight. But let's head down and hear that song. Bit of a build-up for the boys. And rightfully so, a very happy bunch of fellas they are down there singing the song.
My question to you is, no matter who won, they sing the same song, is that right?
What do you? Oh, that's a very fair question. Yes, probably the case. You never know. But however, I did ask that question of South Belgrave about the Saints song on the huddle during the week, and I got knocked back straight away.
Really?
So let's just probably not go with that theory. It's probably something different. Great effort by the Glen Waverley Hawks today. Baronia just making their way off the field now. Drew O'Hare, they'll have another week to regroup. They get to play the winner of Mitcham versus Ringwood tomorrow. That'll be out here next weekend. So plenty of great games still happening across Division 3. They live to fight another day, Brett Davison.
Look, they do, and they certainly would want to come out and perform a little bit better than what they did today. I thought one of the key factors was that too many of their good footballers just didn't show up and play. And if you look at it, and we talked about it, Heath just wasn't involved. Smith really did nothing for them. And, they've been two of their better footballers over the last 5 or 6 weeks. And, I had a look and I was doing some asterisks of different players. And, I only had 4 Baronia players that I said rated either winning or equaling their opponents. And so when you can't expect to win games like that, and yet they got within 7 points. So, there's a lot of upside.
Will Glen Waverley be disappointed by that? Because most people out here watching today will have noticed that they probably were more on top for the afternoon, but then they've only run out by that small margin, or they've just done enough in that last quarter to hold on.
Yeah, look, I think Glen Waverley have got improvement as well, and I think they would look at it and say, we did some things really well, but there are things that we can do better. The fact was that they were able to shut down the key players for Baronia, and they had a much better team performance. Remembering that on this ground in windy conditions, it is a difficult ground to play in windy conditions. You don't often see big scores in these sorts of finals either. And so you've got a situation where they've had 19 shots a goal to 22. And they've got it home by 7 points. But as we've all seen, that they probably played a bit better football than that. And they've kicked 2 goals in the last 5 minutes.
I think Baronia will absolutely kick themselves when they could have committed highway robbery here and snatched that game. They kicked 15 or 16 points. No, they kicked 13 points with the breeze. So, they'll kick themselves. They had an opportunity to snatch this game, and they had a few players that were down today. The Glen Waverley Hawks probably consider themselves a little bit lucky. Even though it felt like they controlled the game.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, when Baronia were bombing it in long, it wasn't enough. They had to spot up targets, so they weren't able to do it. And I think one of those things was Holland. He was dominating in the ruck, but they had no one up forward with Heath going missing, and so they had to move him down there. And he was able to just kick the one.
And Hoops in that last quarter, Glen Waverley 2 scoring shots for 2 goals. Baronia had 2 goals, 6 in the last quarter. So 8 scoring shots to 2 in the last quarter. But Glen Waverley made the most of their opportunities.
And I think the other thing is that you talk about crucial moments in games of football. And I thought there were 3 today. Obviously that decision in the middle where Zickman was put down after play, relayed free kick to Carnelli. Carnelli kicks the goal. That hurts.
That really hurt.
But I thought, and I know I've picked on him a bit today, but McNamara had the ball twice down near our area. Both times tried to centre the ball off one-step kicks. Both times the ball got turned over, and both times they kicked goals.
Yep.
Crucial.
Let's cross down boundary side with Andy Paolacci, because he was with a very happy man and a friend of us here on 98.1 Radio Eastern, the captain, Andrew Azzopardi.
Yeah, that's right. I've got the captain here today. Andrew, how did you see the match today? It was a great start, and you're never headed, as I said.
Yeah, tough game, mate. Baronia a pretty tough side. We thought it was going to be one and loss in the contested footy, and the boys did really well against the wind in that second quarter, I thought, so set us up for that after half-time.
Yeah, definitely. Mirrored, those thoughts were mirrored by your coach, Mick Gall. They said that you guys worked really hard in that second and last quarter there as well. And for yourself, you actually played in defence in those 2 quarters. Was that worked out before the match?
No, it actually wasn't, mate. We got here and it was a bit of a breeze, and then Mick sent me down back for 2 quarters, so I haven't done that since probably last year. I did start the season, but no, it was good to get back down there with the boys.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you kicked 9 goals last time. Far cry from it this time, unfortunately. But how did you think, which side of the ground did you think stood up more for today, the forward line or the defence?
It's hard. That's actually hard, mate. I reckon we're a bit patchy today. Maybe next week, hopefully, we can get 4 quarters together and everyone in each section do well. But yeah, we had back was down a little bit and the forward down a little bit, but they pepped up, which is good. And back in the day we would have just dropped down, but we didn't. And we kept fighting, and it was a good win.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's come from a few years ago where there were quite a few losses in a row. Now you've really coming up to to the pointy end of the season with Division 3. Can you go all the way? That's the big question.
Oh, mate, I'm not going to say we're going to go all the way, but we're going to have a crack at North Ringwood next week, and we'll give it everything, mate, which we've done every week this year.
Take it one game at a time. Well done today, Andrew. Well done.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much to Andy Paolacci and Andrew Azzopardi. I see Fia Tutu out there, guys. He's just walked onto the ground, so maybe you could grab the big man and we can have a chat to him. Dyson Baker spent the day doing the Choose Tap stats. How do they all pan out?
Yeah, look, I'll run through the around the ground scores just quickly because we've had a couple of interesting ones come through. Vermont of come over the line against a battered Noble Park. Apparently Chucky Manson and both the Kemperman boys finished the game on the bench. So Vermont 8-12-60 defeating Noble Park 8-7-55. East Burwood 12-13-85 defeating Knox 11-7-73 by 12 points. Scoresby by 83 points over Croydon. And South Belgrave in a canter will match up against the Basin next week. 18-7-115, 96-point winners over Sylvan 2-7-19, and Montrose, as we said, 11-7-73 by 24 points over Rowville. But the stats
let's just cut you off there, Dyson. We'll come back because Paul Sammercedes is down the boundary line with Fia Tutu, and he thinks he's in a bit of trouble down there, Fia. But of course, we just want to have a chat to him about the great game that him and his side played.
Who'd have the guts to tell him off anyway?
Over to you, Paul.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm down here with the big fella himself, Fia Tutu. How did you see your work today, mate?
Look, first of all, fucking proud of what we've done today, and yeah, sorry about that.
You're in trouble now, Fia.
Yeah, it was hard work. I had to keep either Justin Heath or Matty Smith. You know, that was my job today, and I was given the roles, and I was happy to, get it done.
That's right, mate. We'll bleep that one out for you. I think we can do that.
Love to.
You've gained yourself a bit of a cult figure status down here at the Glen Waverley Hawks. How do you find the reception from both home fans and away fans?
Oh, look, I usually, from the away fans, I usually cop to go back to rugby and all that, because I run in straight line, so if you're in the way, bad luck, even if you're my teammate. So I think
friendly fire.
So.
Yeah, that's exactly right, mate. Thanks for your time, mate. Go over there and have a stretch.
Cheers, mate.
Fia Tutu, he's a character of the Eastern Football League, and he's probably learnt a few little words from Mick Gall over the years playing with him down at the Glen Waverley Hawks. But a great performance by them. Yeah, we've got time for another one, guys. If you want to do it, Darren Jewe's standing up over there. He had a great player and
give someone else the headset so we can ask him a question.
Yeah, that's a fair call. One handed off and one do the interview. But Dyson Baker, you've got the Choose Tap stats as we wait for our next interview.
Yeah, look, a few interesting ones right across this game. In the end, it was Baronia who dominated the inside 50, 65 with 22 in the last quarter. 3 marks inside 50 in that turn for 10, and they kicked 4 goals 6. So reasonably accurate in front of goal in the last term to try and get their way back into it. Going through right throughout the day, the mark count, Glen Waverley 84 to Baronia 64. The tackle count 60, the Glen Waverley Hawks, Baronia 76. Hit-outs were reasonably ebbed and flowed all day. Baronia 54 to the Glen Waverley Hawks 36, but the clearance is reasonably even. Centre clearances 11-7 in favour of the Glen Waverley Hawks. Marks inside forward 50, 10-8 in the end in favour of Baronia. Inside 50s, as I said, 65-55 for Baronia, and the free kick count was 24-20 in favour of Baronia. The marks inside defensive 50 was the interesting one. In the end, it was 9 apiece, but some of those really crucial in the last term for the Glen Waverley Hawks inside the defensive 50.
Let's cross down boundary side again to Paul Sammercedes. He's got Darren Jewell with it.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Well done, mate. Congratulations on the win this afternoon. It's a big day for the club. You've come from Division 4 last year to come up and play finals, finish the year in second spot, and now play North Ringwood next week for a grand final berth. You must be pretty excited.
Yeah, very excited. Very.
And you game this afternoon yourself, mate. You're going to figure quite heavily in our votes this afternoon because you had a super performance by yourself. Did you have a specific role when you went out there today?
Not really, just playing on the wing. I didn't have to versatile down the forward line today, so it was pretty good.
That was one of the things I was looking at as well, the fact that in past games, I know against my side, Churnside, you went down forward and absolutely slaughtered us today. You went down forward early, but I thought you played the wing really well today, especially on the far side. You seem to be a really good target out there for them.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
I think we'll wrap it up there. With Darren Jewell. He's pretty excited, and of course we'll catch up with him over the coming weeks in the Eastern Football League. Thanks, Darren. We're going to go back to Dyson Baker. Did you have some more stats for us? Thanks.
No, rolled through everything. It was reasonably even. Got a couple of scores. Funnily enough, for Paul Hooper, Blackburn did get back, but only by 16 points in the last quarter. South Croydon 15-13, 103, a 33-point win in the end over Blackburn 9-16-70. Baldwin 13-12-90, a 33-point win also over East Ringwood 8-9-57. As we said, Scoresby 83-point winners over Croydon. East Burwood by 2 goals over Knox, and Vermont by those 5 points over the damaged Noble Park. In the finals, Montrose have worked their way through into the grand final with a 24-point win. Here, as we know, Glen Waverley Hawks by 7 points over Baronia in the end, and a big win to South Belgrave 18-7, 115, 96-point winners over Sylvan 2-7-19.
96 points.
Dominated.
Stay tuned. Victoria Healthcare will have all the reports after the game.
Michael Vozzo claiming the game was boring.
Say that again?
Michael Vozzo claiming the game was boring through the last
Dyson Baker.
Now,
naming names.
You do 3, 2 and 1.
We certainly do. Player of the day is the Narellan Pools Player of the Day, Hoops, and of course we do a 3, 2, 1 situation. We'll start with yourself then. We may as well kick off the votes.
Absolutely.
If you're happy to do that.
I can get over to the bar, which is just open. But
it's your hook, isn't it?
It is my hook. I think between the Blackburn and the Doggies today. I gave Dean Grice 1 vote for Baronia. He and Felina were my probably 2 best players for Baronia. I thought Grice really battled hard, and to me he looked actually a level above the rest of the Baronia players today. 2 to Darren Dewar on that wing. We just spoke to him. He's a man of just a few words, but I tell you what, he lets his footy do the talking, and out on the ground he was terrific, running between the half forward line, half back line, and I gave 3 to Fia Tutu. And he's worked down back. As he said, he runs in straight lines, and you would be absolutely cacking yourself if he was running straight at you. And he's got a beautiful long kick as well out of defence, and I just thought he was their best player. He dominated.
Well, thanks for your 3, 2 and 1 Hoops. We're going to swing the pressure straight over to our boundary riders now for their 3, 2 and 1. We're going to start with you. Paul, how did you see it today? Have you done your votes?
I have, yeah. Pretty similar to what Hoops just said there. I was really impressed with the Fia Tutu's work down back, and he was able to get the 3 for me. Chopped off a lot of Baronia forward thrusts and was on top of Jason Heath for most of the afternoon. I slipped Dan Grice in for 2 votes, so I really kept Baronia in it probably for the first 3 quarters. Underline his class, showing what he can do after a lengthy spell on the sidelines. And I give 1 vote to our boy Darren Dewar, as Hoop said, man of few words, but he did control the footy up and down the wing all day. And I'll give a quick honourable mention to the hammer, Matty Carnelli, who provided a target for Glen Waverley all day.
Is that his nickname, is it?
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer, fair enough. Good stuff, mate. On the boundary line today, and of course your wingman for the afternoon was Andy Paolarchi. How did you see the 3, 2 and 1, mate?
Yeah, I saw it a little bit differently. I gave 1 vote to Craig Felina. I thought his transition from defence to attack really kept, as Paul said, kept Baronia in it, and yeah, really gave them a chance, but was not to be. My 2 votes actually went to Danny Gray. I thought he had a pretty poor first quarter. The coach in McGall really gave him a rev up. And
never give someone votes, mate, if you say that they started poorly.
No. The way he responded, as I said after McGall gave him a bit of a roasting, was paramount to Glen Waverley's victory today. And he took some vital marks down the forward line there. And as I said, my 3 votes to Darren Dewar. As you guys said, man of a few words, but fantastic player.
Man of few words, but many a kick.
Yes, just naturally talented, takes great marks, runs the lines and runs hard, runs well. So, my votes, 3 votes for Darren Dewar.
Thank you very much to Andy. A man who sees the game from a different angle is Dyson Baker in the Choose Tap seat this afternoon. How did you see your 3, 2 and 1, Dice?
Yeah, a little bit of a different angle on this one. A couple of guys that haven't been mentioned yet. I've gone 1 vote to Danny Keno. I thought he was fantastic. Was probably beaten through the first half. Worked his way back into it and gave Glen Waverley Hawks a chance just through that second and third term. I gave 2 votes to David Lang. Probably one of those guys that really is a little bit... not spoken about much, and just his work across the half-back line, pushing forward. He became that link-up player moving forward, and I ended up giving 3 votes to Darren Dewar. It was pretty much a toss-up between him and Fia Tutu, but I couldn't quite fit Fia in the end, even though he was going to get 3
So he's one of the best on ground in your opinion, but you couldn't even give him 1 vote.
Exactly right. Just had a score come through as well.
That's why he's not on special comments.
Norwood will finish on top of the Division 1 ladder of the home and away season with the minor premiership 15-14, 104, 44-point winners over Lilydale 9-6-60.
Good stuff.
Sorry, Fia, I couldn't get you in the votes, but actually I couldn't get you in the votes at all. I was going to give you BOG, but I couldn't get you in the votes. Can't wait to tell him when he comes up. He's
scared. Brad Henderson.
I'm out of here.
He's got his... Brad Henderson has got his 3, 2 1. Thanks, Brad.
I gave 1 vote to Craig Felino. I thought he was, I almost said East Burwood. He used to play for East Burwood. I thought he was Baronia's best player today, along with Grice, but snuck Felino in for 1 vote. 2 votes to Darren Dewar, a man who I've never seen play a bad game. Every time I see Glen Waverley Hawks, Darren Dewar is fantastic. He was again today, and all class, used the ball brilliantly. and I gave 3 votes to another man who I've never seen play a bad game in Fia Tutu, who destroyed Jason Heath. Saw him off, and then just played a great defender's game. And he's great in the aerial contest, but he also plays with plenty of flair, and he was outstanding again today. Fia Tutu gave him the 3 votes.
Thank you very much to Brad, and that of course just leaves myself to give the 3, 2 and 1. Oh, sorry, Brett Davidson. See, we skipped over you, but we're coming back. Maybe we'll just save you till last, because you, of course, are the expert here this afternoon. My 1 vote today goes to Lachlan Watson. I'm calling you the expert. I'm not calling you a bad coach. No, sir, Bob. Lachlan Watson, 1 vote this afternoon for Baronia. I thought he was super all afternoon. He wore number 13 if you were out here at the match and you didn't know too much about both sides. He really gave a 4-quarter effort for Baronia. Yes, he didn't have his kicking boots on. He only kicked 4 behinds, but his efforts and his marking and his leading and probably second and third efforts as well made sure that he got in my votes this afternoon. I'm going to give 2 votes to Fia Tutu, and like everybody's already said, they just love watching him play. He's got that Harry O'Brien like charge out of the back line. He's probably a bit better player than Harry O'Brien, but he's just super, and he's an imposing figure on the ground, and if he's in your back half, you are pretty comfortable knowing that he's down there, because he's going to put his body on the line week in, week out, and just do all the important things. Darren Dewar, he just owns the outer side of the ground, and I know that I've called the Glen Waverley Hawks a couple of times, and with Brad as well, and I agree with you, Brad. He just doesn't play a bad game, and he winds around on that left boot. He is a playmaker, and that's what they need, especially in finals time. Players like him setting up what they have is a very good forward line. So 3 votes to Darren Dewar. Have you got the tally for us there, Brad?
Well, we've still got Davo's votes to go.
I've done it again. Brett Davidson.
Apparently you don't count because you're only the 41st best coach.
I believe that's true. Look, and probably with the votes that I'm giving, that'll prove true. I've gone a little bit different again. I've given 2 Baronia players votes, and they've lost the game. And the reason why I've done that is that I thought Glen Waverley were pretty solid all over the ground. I thought they played a much better team, whereas I thought there were very few players at Baronia who played well at all. But I thought there were 2 that I thought stood out. Lockie Watson, I give him 1 vote to. I thought he was probably, without kicking the goals, he was nearly the best forward on the ground. I thought he moved well, he marked well, he led well. I thought his second and third efforts were fantastic, and he kept them in the game. And he was their only target up forward. When you consider they got 2 big targets, he really became their only target. I gave 2 votes to Dean Grice. Look, I thought he was outstanding, to be honest. I watched him very, very carefully. His use of the football in windy conditions when players struggle was simply sensational.
Class above.
And where he puts himself into those positions to get the ball, his work rate at the contest was fantastic.
And he's obviously underdone as well. That just shows how good a player he is.
Oh, amazing. You know, he's been out for 14 weeks or something, and he's come back and he plays a game like that on a big ground. But defence wins finals, and Fia Tutu was unbelievably good. He took the best forward in Baronia out of the game, but not only took him out of the game, he became constructive in his offence, and that's a sign of a good fullback. He's great kicking, he's running, he just puts that physical pressure on, and I thought he was best man on the ground.
Thank you very much to Brett Davidson in the special comments chair this afternoon. Brad Henderson just tallying up all the totals there, and I sense we may have a tie, Bradley.
We do indeed have a tie. We'll come to that in a second. Third was Dean Grice. He had 5 votes. And then first and second, or equal first, were both Darren Dewar and Fia Tutu with 14 votes each. But Fia Tutu has nabbed it on the basis of getting a 3-voter from 4 of us, whereas Darren Dewar got the maximum votes from 3 of us. So Fia Tutu is today's winner for the best on ground.
Can I just mention that I went first, and that's my 3, 2 and 1 in order.
That's why we got you on board.
Dewar and Grice, that's all I've got to say. Take a few notes. Take a few notes over there, buddy boy.
Well, that was Narellan Pools Player of the Day being awarded to Fia Tutu. Sorry?
Did you say Narellan Pools?
Well, that was our Narellan Pools Player of the Day.
Get a $100 gift voucher.
$100 gift voucher.
Not quite a pool.
You're in charge on your program.
I'm just asking. Sorry. Asking the question.
Okay, so of course the $100 gift voucher down to Narellan Pools to spend whichever way you like. What an award that is, but it's not the only one we give away here on EFL Game Day. The Trojan Workhorse, a toolkit filled to the brim with quality tools to the value of $350. Not necessarily the best player on the ground, but a four-quarter performer who caught the eye of our special comments man, Brett Davidson, this afternoon. Who would you give this to today?
Well, I'm not going to give it to one of the blokes who got a vote. This guy did get a vote from someone, but I thought that Danny Kennor in the ruck. I thought he worked tirelessly in the ruck all day, and he fed his midfielders. I thought he was fantastic all day.
You know something else that he did too, a couple of times in that, I think it was the third quarter, when there were shots on goal, he'd get to that goal line. He did all the right things. There's no doubt he was a great player.
Congratulations to Danny Kennor, who will be the proud owner of a new Trojan Tools toolkit filled to the brim, as I said, with tools. It's an amazing award. It outshines nearly the Best on Ground award, but of course, Narellan Pools, how else would you want to spend $100 than head down to Narellan Pools Hoops?
Snort chlorine for a week, if you like.
Dyson Baker, plenty more scores. Let's hear them all again around the eastern suburbs today.
Yeah, we'll roll through them. South Croydon led for 4 quarters to finish off 15-13, 103, 33-point winners over Blackburn Mad Monday at the pub. 70. Baldwin 13-12, 90, 33-point win over East Ringwood to jump into finals 8-9-57. Scoresby 22-18, 150, won by 83 points over Croydon 10-7, 67, which I think will put them into second. Doesn't really make a difference because they'll play each other next week anyway. East Burwood won by 12 points in the end after trailing by 6 points at half-time, 12-13, 85 over Knox, 11-7, 73. Norwood 15-14, 104. Won by 44 points. Lilydale 9-6, 60. I think that's their first ever minor premiership in Division 1. They're the 11th side to finish on top in Division 1. Vermont 8-12, 60. Won by 5 points in the end after trailing by as much as 34 points. Noble Park 8-7, 55. Apparently a lot of injuries to come out of that.
34 points, did you say they trailed by?
They trailed by 34 points at just after quarter time, but we'll looking to hear that one from Frosty Beard because a couple of injuries we think to come out of that one to Chucky Manson. I think the Kemperman boys were the other ones. And then going into the finals, the Division 2 Choose-Tap second semi-final, Montrose winning their way through into the 2012 grand final, 11-7, 73, 24-point win over Rowville, 7-7, 49.
Ray Baird, we'll be hearing from him after the game.
So Rowville to do it the hard way next week. South Belgrave have also won through into a second semi-final, 18-7, 115, a 96-point win over Sylvan, 2-7, 19. And of course this game we heard Glen Waverley Hawks matching up against North Ringwood next week after winning 10-9, 69 to Baronia, 8-14, 62.
Thank you very much to Dyson Baker. Dual load today of stats and around the grounds. Great job by yourself, mate. We're going to thank the crew that's joined us out here at East Burwood Reserve. It was a 7-point victory to the Glen Waverley Hawks today, 10-9, 69. Baronia 8-14, 62. You felt like all day Glen Waverley were in charge and they ran away with it in the end and deservedly get their spot in the preliminary final next week. To our Akira Urgent Care boundary riders, we thank them. It's the first time they've worked in tandem this season. But to Andy Paolici, great job by yourself today, mate, and we'll see you in a fortnight's time.
Definitely looking forward to it, mate.
And of course, Paul Semasides, his debut on the boundary line today, and what a way to come into a debut on the boundary in a final, qualifying final. You got to see a great match, mate, and we thank you for your contribution today.
Certainly did, no worries at all.
Thank you very much to Paul. And of course, Brad Henderson, the #1 wingman in the Eastern Football League, dubbed the EFL's best caller by Brett Davidson pre-match. You did a great job, as always, today. Perched up in your nice little chair there, Brad. We hope Bruce didn't annoy you too much throughout the afternoon with his laughing, but you did a great call, and we'll catch up with you soon.
No, I enjoyed it as always, BWS. It was a great afternoon, and in the end, good result. The right team won because Baronia, I think the final margin definitely flattered them in the end.
And of course, Paul Hooper, familiar voice from the 98.1 Radio Eastern airwaves from years gone by. We still like to get him back on board when we can, and it was great to have him here for finals time to Division 3 today, mate. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we can hopefully do this again very soon.
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. I want to just know one thing, and that is how you can pronounce the boundary riders' names, but not Bazinskis.
Bazinxis. I still can't bloody do it. Let's just move on. Of course, Brett Davidson, the Chertside Park senior coach and very good friend of us here in the media team. Great performance by yourself again. It's always fun to have you here and hear your expert comments throughout the footy finals, and look forward to catching up again in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you when Glen Waverley play Ringwood in the grand final in a few weeks' time.
Absolutely. It's
Just threw that one in out of left field.
We've got it on record too, don't we? So thanks a lot for your time today, Brett. Dyson Baker on the Choose Tap Stats and around the grounds. What would a broadcast be if you were not involved, Dyson?
Tell me about it.
Thank you very much for your efforts this afternoon.
Pleasure. I look forward to tomorrow afternoon. An interesting clash out at Ringwood tomorrow.
It all wouldn't come together if the Loft Productions didn't come here at 10 o'clock in the morning. More importantly, Bruce Prest to set everything up for us for a flawless broadcast. We thank Bruce from the Loft Productions, and we'll see him, of course, tomorrow afternoon, because it doesn't stop here. It's footy finals time across the east, and we are having an absolute ball as it starts. 10-9-69, played 8-14-62 out here today at East Burwood Reserve. We thank Ben Waterworth for his great work on pre-match, talking to the presidents and the coaches, and, of course, all previewing all today's games, and at quarter time, half time, three-quarter time. He doesn't have a headset now, but we thank him very much, and, of course, we'll hear his dulcet tones on EFL Sunday tomorrow morning, and then we'll be back out at Jubilee Park tomorrow afternoon for the massive clash elimination final between Murrelbach and Bayswater. Should be an absolute beauty. The winner of that match to go on and play Rowville next week. So interesting stuff as you head local for your football around finals time. Day one done and dusted of the Choose Tap final series. We're going to go back to Barry Cotts in the Radio Eastern studios, because we've got Ray Baird, Peter Baird and Victoria Halkias to give us around the ground reports. Of course, Ben Waterworth at 10-6 with the EFL scoreboard and announcements of all the games over the final series in the coming weeks. My name is Ben Warren Smith. We're signing off from East Burwood Reserve. Qualifying final day, it was a 7-point win to the Glen Waverley Hawks. Congratulations, boys.
No worries, Paul.